All right, guys. So this is Saturday morning, and yeah, GM. Good morning, Jim, and all. Good morning, Fozia, and good morning, everyone else. And let us go ahead with what we were doing, and excuse me. Back to the same thing. All right. So table editing. I'll just try to connect to the user where's that? Is already.
Amil bhai, can I have a question? Oh, I did not save the Office 365, login page. So how do I find it?
It's portal.office.com.
Okay. It gives me all the options, you know.
Just click the login.
Portal.office.com.
Yes.
Okay.
So portal.office.com. Enter, and then just log in if you have saved your credentials. And that's so. Last time I also went over. I think Google Chrome. Seriously, what's wrong with you? Okay, sign in. Click the sign in, and then the credentials should be shown here. Yeah, this one. USB-C for me. And multi-factor authentication. So let's go to that. 763-032. 763-032. All right. So I'm logged in, and I'm on the left side. I can see a admin icon. So I'm just going to click that once I log in, and that takes us to the headquarters or our admin center. It has all the administration related icons. So admin centers to different applications. Now, what we were doing last time was what's the lab we are doing today? Blah blah blah. Let's check this out. You are the administrator, so we're done with that. Okay, I'm just quickly. That's going to be our on premises. That was also done. We took a break as well. Done. And we created on prem. This and GoDaddy, we created the domain and download Windows 11. Oh yeah, this is what we did not do. Download, or maybe we downloaded the Windows 11, but we didn't add it to. We did not add it to the domain. So that is one task remaining. To synchronize on-prem. So then we synchronized the thing. Download AADC tool. So we did the AADC tool download, and through that we connected. Then we took another break. Seriously, we can't take two breaks. Rules: if a user account was created on premises, then we talked about rules as well. That whenever the user account was created, you have to go to that area. So suppose this is on premises environment, and this is cloud. So this is your Toronto local branch, and this is your cloud Azure Active Directory. So if the user account was created here and synchronized up in the cloud, then you have to go back here, make changes to the user profile. Like last time, what we did was change the department name or put a department name, sales. Then we did the synchronization, and then the same information appeared here. Now the user was created in on-premises domain controller, on-premises Active Directory. So that's why we had to come here. If the user account was directly created here in Azure Active Directory, then you can do all the changes in the user profile exactly here. Now that was a only password change, yeah. But password you can change for. So if I go back to the diagram, just suppose user was synchronized from on-premises to the cloud. Yes, you can still change the password of the synchronized user directly from the cloud. Then you have to go and configure write back option. Write back just means that if you've changed the password here, then write it back or send that information back to the on-premises Active Directory. So the same user's password should be changed here as and well. So some of the rules that we discussed last time. Then I asked a quiz question in my YouTube channel, and many of you replied, and that was good reply. This means that you guys are understanding all the concepts. That is very good, and you are working fastly on this. Fastly, seriously. So other than that, we needed to what we did. So there's lab good one, blah 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 blah. Yeah, we did that. So I'll just remove this as well. How do I add a domain to the Azure ID tenant? So we purchased our domain from www.grandpa.com and added it into Azure Active Directory tenant. This is what we did, but what remains to be done now, what we need to do is, so let's map slash attach the domain to a newly created user. Let's map the domain to an existing user. Okay, newly created user in cloud. And let's map the domain to an existing user in cloud.
Amin bhai,
And
when I try to portal.admin.com, sorry, portal dot office365.com, you say
mhm,
username and password is incorrect, right? Username and password is correct. Do I need to
mhm.
do
Do I need to?
like is this
Just
different from
try.
administrator 365?
So which user are you trying to connect? The users with which we created the account, the user we created later and gave it global admin privileges.
I'm trying to log in like
What's
the
the
account,
username?
email I created.
Oh, the email Outlook. So
Yeah,
no, you don't have to do that. When you created, so we create all Outlook.com email, right? So with this, we cannot log in. Then we created a user account. If you followed all the videos, then we created like Amir admin. So yours would be maybe, hopefully, it's Raza admin. And if there was some weird domain name at the back, it ends with .onmicrosoft.com. Right? So you have to then that where is that user and log in from that user. So something admin at which ends with .onmicrosoft.com, not one that ends with outlook.com. And K. So what we're going to do is let's map the domain to an existing user in cloud. And then let's map the let's say domain. No, no, domain to an existing user, yeah. Let's map the domain a synchronized user. Now that's where the trick is. Synchronized user. And also, one more thing is, did we make a newly added domain our default domain or default domain? Need to know that as well. Now there will be another question coming soon. So that question would be, what is the significance of um, purchasing a domain in Go with any domain registrar and then adding it to the Azure Library tenant? Why did we have to go with such an effort to add a domain there? So, but why? So I'll be putting that question on same YouTube channel, and let's see who answers what. It's all overall concepts related war going on. You can ask ChatGPT, you can ask Google, but give a correct answer. But everyone should answer that. So I'll be presenting that link, the question, real soon. We discussed that already before as well. Okay, so what we need to do is we are already logged in, and what I mentioned in the slide here, that did we make the newly added domain our default domain? So let's check this out. I think we did. So I'm going to go back here, and we are in the Microsoft 365 Admin Center, and here we have domains. And in the domains, I see uh, the domain. Actually, did I add me or was it? I think we added it. I was only connected to Jamin's account, right? So no, I actually stored the whole thing here. So this is the domain. Ugh, what's wrong with me? I think my T doesn't have enough strength right now. So this is the new domain that I added. Remember that you can set the other domain as default, but this is a free domain, right? We would not want our users connected to the free domain. That's why when you edit the domain, you have to go for set as default to actually one you added from the domain registrar. Anyone knows what's a domain registrar? Anyone knows what's a domain registrar?
Who register where we can register our domain.
Yes. So domain registrar is any site from where we purchase our domain. So is Microsoft domain registrar as well or not? Microsoft has hundreds of services, right? Azure and Office 365 and Dynamics and databases, products. They have hundreds of products. This is general knowledge. Is Microsoft domain registrar as well? Does Microsoft sell domains as well? This is general knowledge. Maybe you don't know that, but anyone can guess. So we have to go
Microsoft,
to
they
you're
don't,
saying so.
right?
They do not. Microsoft do not sell domains. Otherwise, we didn't have to go for Gori.com. Even the arch rival in cloud service providing, AWS. AWS is the biggest rival for Microsoft Azure. So is AWS our domain registrar? Everyone knows that.
I don't think so.
Mm,
Yeah,
so
Route 53.
No.
Route 53 is DNS.
Oh, that's a DNS. Yeah.
So
They manage the domain, right? Route 53.
it manages a domain, but can we purchase a domain? So AWS is a domain registrar. You can purchase a domain from AWS as well, but you cannot purchase a domain from Microsoft. So we had to go for GoDaddy.com, but AWS, if you purchase a domain from there, for training purpose, it's not cheap. So we still go for GoDaddy.com, but or any other domain registrar. But when companies purchase a domain, obviously, if they are using all AWS services, Amazon Web Services is just like Microsoft Azure, right? A cloud service provider, CSP. So anyway, AWS is a domain registrar, Microsoft is not. We added a domain from the domain registrar GoDaddy.com. We purchased it, we added it here. Now let's go to the rest of the tasks here that are to go to the user's site. Oh yeah, that's what I did not do last time. But we still have a lot of users here created by that developer account. So I'm going to go to the users. What are our tasks? So we say that, oh, let's attach map our domain. So we added the domain from GoDaddy.com here, but we need to attach it to the users. So when the user is communicating with someone outside, user's name, suppose it's Alex Wilbur, at whatever 0xbsc, but dot on Microsoft.com. This name should not be the suffix of the user principal name or UPN. Otherwise, everyone will think this is a fake user or a hacker. We're not doing business with your company now. So we need to change these guys, this free domain to the one that we purchased. How do we do that? First, we can actually create a new user, and then we're going to go for existing user, and then we're going to go for synchronized users. This means I would have to request Jamin to share his environment. Okay, by the way, very good troubleshooting, Fozia, and good help by everyone else. Jamin helped a lot, so hands clap for you guys. So we need this kind of dedication, guys, that you need to repeat the labs again and again, right? Okay, so and communicate on the WhatsApp group. We all see that, and wherever we can help, we can do that. Okay, so here I'm going to create a new user, add a new user here, and then suppose it's your first name, user 01, or if you already have that, user 06, user 07. So, but we're just checking that can we change the domain or does it really appear right away anyway? So you can see that now the free domain does not come up because the domain that we added from uh, the domain registrar is showing already because we set it as a default domain. Okay, so here we see the free domain, but we can switch between the two domains. Suppose you have here actually 3 or 4 more domains. Suppose you actually have big products there and your company is huge and you actually purchase a lot of other domains as well. So all those domains will start showing up here, and whichever domain the user belongs to, you can attach that. So this is pretty straightforward that yes, a new user when you're creating will see the new domain. So I'm just going to select the new domain, rightly create a password, require this user to change the password. This is the best practice, obviously, when you're creating a user account for someone other than you. You should select this option, require this user to change their password, send password in email upon completion. So this option will send you as well the new password, which is a temporary new password in your email. But as soon as the user logs in the first time, he or she will simply change. Anyway, and I don't intend to log in from that user. We're just creating an account with a new domain suffix. So I'm just going to click next. And I don't want to give a license to this user, or even if we do, it's no deal. So we're creating a user here. And okay, I'm giving a license. Now I'm left with 6 licenses. Anytime we can take it back as well. This is the E5 license, so it has 61 applications available for the user. It's not necessary that you have to give all the applications to the user, but even if you keep it clicked, yeah, it doesn't matter. So otherwise, if it was E3 enterprise, this is E5 enterprise 5. If it was E3 or Enterprise 3, then it would have been 40, between 30 and 40 applications. If it was E1, it would have been 16 or 15 applications here. Is E5, which is the top offering from Microsoft, so there are 61 applications. Right. I give one more license here and click next.
Sorry,
You get, yeah,
sorry, excuse me. Please, can you go back a step?
right, again.
Please, can you go back a step?
Yeah.
Back step.
Like,
yes, yeah, exactly. Sorry, I just want to take a look at what you did.
oh yeah,
Now,
I
sorry,
created.
please, I have a question here. Yeah. So why do we have since we want to let all our users have the same domain? Why do we have to create another user before we can get everybody to have the same domain that we purchased?
We're just testing. So we're testing all scenarios here. But if there was a new user we create, then how to attach? We're going to go for the scenario. Oh, if we have existing user, how to connect to those? And if we have a synchronized user, how to connect to those? So we're just testing all the scenarios. You don't have to create a new user to test the new domain. We're just testing scenarios here. O and K. So shall I go ahead? Or, well, I clicked here in the add a user. Then I started to create a new user. So, okay. And here, I signed a product. We don't need to, I'm not going to even log into that user, just showing you, we know how to create a user anyway. I'll go for Canada here, and or whichever country you're connected from, you can just put that country there. You're following as well. Next. And then, yeah, there are roles here. So there are a lot of roles. There's Exchange Administrator, Global Administrator, Global Reader. Now, suppose there is a new hire, and that user is actually, suppose, junior administrator, and you are the senior administrator. So the first day, you shouldn't be just giving global administrator privileges. You can give that user global reader privileges. Although you have taken an interview, you know that this person is knowledgeable, but still don't give right away everything, especially the top. Guys, I think you can mute your mic if you don't have question. So I can hear somebody breathe. So here, global reader role could be given to that user, right? So you can just select from those roles and you can give it to the user as well. If it's an administrator, if it's an end user, obviously don't touch this area at all. No admin center access, right? So you should stick to that, not skip to that, or skip it. So anyway, these are the other administrator privileges that you can give if that person is whose account you're creating is actually. If you want to show all by category, and then you want to even go more specific privileges. So it goes very specific then, oh, is this user just a printer administrator, or is this user printer administrator and just Teams device administrator? Not the Teams administrator, just the device administrator. If you give team administrator, obviously, then it will have all the privileges of Teams, managing Teams, or straightforward if that user is going to be the global admin and you are so confident that the new guy is good and you just go ahead and give the global administrator, up to you. But you can go really specific permissions day one, and Microsoft has done a good job at showing that you can give just one specific permission instead of making an administrator of the whole application. Right? And if we go there, expand the profile info with an arrow. So yeah, then you can just put all that information here as well. Anyway, I'm going to click next without giving this user any admin privileges. And that's it. So it's a summary, and let's click finish adding. So, but the new user does see the newly added domain automatically. That's what we get from here. Then how about the existing user? So if I go down here, and unlicensed user is there. Oh, that's on premises Active Directory. Yeah, this is the one. So the one user got the new domain. So this is a scenario of a new user adding. So how about existing user? I'm going to go to the existing user, Adele Vance, and or whatever user you have, you can just, there's a hand raised there. Is it exercise or there's a question? Yeah. Then there's a question. Yeah, your hand is raised, so that's why I was. Oh, maybe you're doing exercise in the Saturday morning. It's good to do exercise in the morning, and you can also raise both hands as well as jump up and down. Or if we have what am I doing? Exercise machine. So okay, guys. Now I'm just gonna go for existing user and just kidding. My is not working. You can, if there's a question, then you can ask in the chat as well. So not only that, Microsoft has created users, but they have put pictures as well. So that is okay. Anyway, so Adele, if we go, so here, how do we attach a new domain to the user, right? So where do we go and do that? So there's manage username and email. So there's this way you can do it from Microsoft 365 Admin Center, and users you can see in Azure Active Directory as well, right? You can do it there as well. First, we can try here, then we can go for Azure Active Directory as well. So within Admin Center, you have all the users and groups, roles, resources, billing, which some of these features are there in Active Directory as well. Billing is not there, suppose, but because this is Admin Center, so all the critical day-to-day things are here. So normally you will always come back here for one thing or another daily. Admin Center. So if we go to the user, so how do we change the domain here, and where is that option? So if I go to the manage username and email, and there is that primary email address and username. So if we drop down here, so there's that alias. Oh, alias just means that you want to call this user by this other name as well. But I don't want to create an alias. Actually, I want to change the actual domain name. Although creating an alias is also okay. Suppose first I'll try that. Hey, how about if I want to change the actual? So if I click that pencil sign, it shows me like this. Oh, you want to change that? I say, yeah, this is the existing user that we are working on. And then I click. So yes, even the actual user domain can be changed for an existing actual domain can be changed instead of you don't really have to put alias there. This means that domain as well as this other domain will be part of that. So yeah, testing 1 2 3. Mohsen, we can hear you. You can say.
Yes, I have a question.
Hmm?
So if we are like giving E5 license to a user and then we want to change it to E3, so what is the procedure? Like, is in the working hours or after working hours? How do we do?
So better to go for obviously off hours, or if the user is not, yep, better to go for off hours or weekend. But also you can go to just product licenses here, and just like E5 is showing here, so another license should be showing here. E3 if both types of licenses are deployed here. You can uncheck this and check that. But the main thing about that is suppose E3 has 40 applications and E5 has 61 applications. If one of the missing applications the user was working on and had a lot of data there, files created, suppose I go for this and just pretending that the user was working on the phone system or bookings app, and in E3 you're changing and user does not have or E3 does not offer suppose the booking Microsoft bookings, but user had done a lot of work here. You have to be careful. that if that application is not even there, so you can't demote. Suppose you have to demote, they can just tell a user that save the work, and there's an alternative for that. And you just have to be careful that what applications user was using before you demote the user. Otherwise, yeah, it should be just uncheck here and check here, and the user has to sign out, sign in. All the work of the user should be in OneDrive anyway, and OneDrive is supported, provided in E3 as well. So it should not be a big deal. Right, so existing user domain also changed here. And what about the synchronized users? So for synchronized users, the process is very tricky. Like, the synchronized users are also going to show this free domain, right? So if the free domain is showing here, that's not good. Right? So in that case, what we can do is we let me explain that in the diagram now. Suppose we have this branch here, Toronto branch. And that Toronto branch has a Toronto branch. This Toronto branch has the Active Directory on premises. We created that already in previous class. So we call it actually a domain controller. Domain controller is what? This is a Windows server that has Active Directory installed on it. That is called a domain controller. So always stick to the terminology. In the interview, they throw you terminologies and you throw them back at them. No, you just say that you understand that what they are talking about. So you have a domain controller here, and you have last time we created how many? 390 users, right? And those 390 users we synchronized to the cloud. So now what we will be doing is that we are changing their domain. Obviously, the users were created here, so we have to come here again now. This means my environment had some issue. Okay, so Azure directory. So here we already have 390 users synced. I'll just name it synced, and we have 15. Maybe you have less or more, doesn't matter. 15 users. Suppose we have 15 users, cloud users. Those were directly created in cloud. 90 were actually synchronized. So these cloud users domain has been changed, but the synchronized users domain, how can we change that? It should not be the ending with the tree domain, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to go to this PC here, and we're going to change the domain. First, we're going to check what is the domain of the users, right? Remember that we gave local domain, I think samosa.local. So all users, 300 users had their full user principal name ending with John at samosa.local, Bob at samosa.local. So we're going to change first here domain, then you know the drill. Anyone can tell me what do we do next? First, we change the domain. Suppose it is successfully changed for all the users. What do we do next?
Then we'll sync those
Exactly.
users.
Think with AD
Yeah,
Connect.
exactly. AD Connect. Exactly. Both are correct. So we're going to simply use the tool AADC and send that synchronization. Obviously, our username of the global admin that we created, we should just remember the correct credentials, username, password, and then once the domain is changed here, we sync, and then we check if it is changed up there for all the synchronized users as well. Oh, but can't we just go there directly to the synchronized user in the cloud and change the domain? We haven't tested that, right? Because I don't have it. So requesting Jamin, can you share your screen for this one?
Sure.
Thank you. First, we're going to check if the synchronized users domain are showing. Yeah, we're gonna go to the users area, and yeah, that would be exactly. Thank you. And here, let's go to any synchronized, yeah, Alan Reed, suppose, and we click that Alan Reed. Select that and select and click on top of Alan Reed as well. Click on, yeah, that's it. And then we can go to, if you go further down, there's manage contact information at the bottom. Yeah, that's it. If we click that, I hope it has the contact information. You can already see we cannot change anything here. We know that, right? Let's go back and now go to where I showed to change the domain, which is the top. We can stay here. I click again, Alan Reed, and we went for manage username, which is the first one. Yeah, so for cloud user, I went here. I just simply click the pencil sign there. It let me click, and the domains area I was able to change for the user that was created directly in the cloud. But the synchronized user, can you click on the down arrow there, Jimin, on the right side? Yeah, this one. Okay, so exactly, it's not clickable. So this means now we have to back to the domain controller, to the on-premises where this user came from. So now it's gonna get a little tricky. So let's go to the domain controller. We started that. And yeah, let's log into this. It's 8:46. Hey, it's 10:45. Calgary time is oh 8:46, 10:40. And Calgary is like 2 hours back. Serious. So here, we just need to, oh yeah, guys, now what to do? We're gonna go to tools, we're gonna go to Active Directory users and computers, and yeah, so go to tools and Active Directory users and computers. One, oh, not sites and services. Users and computers. Thank you. And let's go to the users, yeah, Exchange users container or folder where the users are. There you go. Let's double click Alan Reed, the second one from the top. And we need to see what suffix, domain suffix it has. For ending of the domain, it's samosa.local here, right? But where can we change? Suppose we want to change it. So there's account tab. And here, if you drop down, that's it. This is just samosa.local. So here we can change if we want to. Yes, we want to. So how can we get another domain name here? We could just simply select that one instead of this one. So let's cancel out from here, and domain change, and we can minimize this window as well and close this. Yeah. Now we need to go to tools again on the top right. And now you see here lots of Active Directory related options. One of them is Active Directory domains and trusts. Second on the top. Yeah, that's it. Domains and trust. So this option lets us create our own domain name as well in this window. So let's go to samosa.local. First, we right click the samosa.local and go to properties directly. And no, it doesn't show that option. So we're going to cancel out from here and we're going to go a little up. Active Directory domains and trust, this one. Select that first, and then we again go to properties here as well. And that's where it says alternative UPN, user principal name suffix. Suffix is the ending part of the domain. Right? And UPN, user principal name, so John at samosa.local, right? So this is the full UPN. Okay, if somebody asks, hey, what's your UPN, Amir, in our company Active Directory? So I will say Amir Shahzad at samosa.local. So that's my UPN. So the full username is just UPN. Suffix just means that what is the ending part of the username. So suffix is it's not Amir Shahzad then, that's a prefix. Samosa.local, that would be my suffix, ending part of the domain, or the domain name. So now we're gonna exactly type. So, Jamin, what domain you purchased from GoDaddy.com? You have to type exactly those spellings, that name here. Exactly. So that's what you purchased from GoDaddy.com, and that's what we need to attach. So let's click add here. So whatever you purchased from GoDaddy.com, you need to put exactly that name. Remember, there's a trick here, and I keep saying trick. So it's not that usual way of attaching a user to a GoDaddy domain, because we are not attaching a GoDaddy domain to on-premises Active Directory. We are not attaching, we are not connecting this whole environment to internet. And then we're not attaching Toronto branch to the internet and then attaching it to the GoDaddy.com. We're just naming it right from inside. So let's click apply because we want all the users to do the same. Press OK. And then we can go to Active Directory users and computers, which is the book icon at the bottom. Yeah. And we need to, we didn't click refresh. Active Directory is serious about refreshes. Let's go back to the domains and trusts. First of all, and refresh there just a few million times. Yeah, refresh. That's it. Okay, once it is refreshed, that's it. And then we go to the, this one. And we go to samosa.local domain as well and right click and refresh. Now we go to exchange users, which has all the 390 users inside. And we go to any random user. So I'll read, double click that. And we go to account and drop down. Now we have the other domain that we purchased from GoDaddy.com. So when I was saying trick, so this is the trick, and all the users from all the synchronized users domain has to be changed this way. So let's change, no, don't change just one user. We will be changing all the users, right? Let's cancel out from here. Now you can just press Control A. That selects all the users. There you go. Control A on the keyboard, he pressed. Then we go to the properties because we need to make that change for all 390 users. So let's click the properties. Now we see the account tab. Exactly. And we only need to change for every user UPN suffix. Gonna click the UPN suffix and we just simply drop down and change it to the new domain that we had created ourselves and apply. And OK. And refresh on samosa.local. So now we can simply synchronize this change and all the users would exactly, yeah, you're checking random users as well. Let's just check one more random user, any user, and exactly, they're all changed to this new domain name that we created ourselves within the system, within the Active Directory, right? So once that is done, then we can do synchronizations. How do we do that? Do you remember?
Yeah, so we have to run AD connect. Can we use the command line, just one command line to sync?
Yeah, sure. That's even better. And you can share that command. Actually, you did share that, but you can share now in WhatsApp as well. This is a manual synchronization. You're
Yes,
about to do?
manual.
Okay, so Sandeep is saying in the chat, it has to be one way from on-premise. Yes, it is one way, Sandeep. It is one way.
Okay, thanks, Amit. So there is no way we can make a changes on cloud and we can push back the changes to the on-premises.
So
Huh?
there's
That's not a design or like.
by design it is one way from on-premises to cloud, but we can manually configure to write back the configurations as well. So yes, we can write back from cloud to on-premises, but it is a manual process.
Understood. Thank you.
So guys, PowerShell is also very, very important, mucho importante. So
Yes.
start ID. You tested it, right?
Yes, yeah, I tested it. Then
Okay. It's very good to do everything PowerShell way, and it's success. So you can share this screenshot. Do you know how to take a screenshot of the whole screen?
I already did in WhatsApp same screenshot with I did.
You can take now because we're doing it now. So then just simply put it on the WhatsApp group if it's possible. Otherwise, yeah. Okay. Oh, sorry. So yeah, you don't have to do it now, but later you can do it because yeah, we don't want to see all the other WhatsApp chat. We spend, send me $1 million here and all the financial transactions. Oh, okay, just kidding. So yeah, but later as soon as we switch the screen, then.
Sure.
Okay, guys. So this is we need to see the result actually. So we're still to see the result. So refresh just a few million times, and the domain of it's already changed. Okay, that's very good. That was fast. We should all
Some
move
of them mistakes.
other than those are the cloud created users. The domain has to be changed directly in the cloud one by one, but those who were synchronized, which were synchronized users, their domain has been now changed, and it actually works perfectly. The way we did this, we don't have to really attach from the domain registrar to synchronize users because they don't allow us. But when cloud users, yes, you can use domain registrar base domain to be attached. When it's synchronized users, this is the way you can change their domains as well, and then they would find exactly the same way that any other user would work on in the cloud. So yes, this is also confirmed. This is what I want to show, and this is something that you must repeat at home. Well, you are at home, so must repeat at some other time at home. Okay, guys. So I'm gonna switch back to my screen. Thank you very much for Jamin for sharing, and yeah. Okay, so I'll be sharing my screen now, and let's go back to our Azure environment.
Sorry, what if we want to sync with AD Connect, Azure AD Connect? We want to use that to sync, not using PowerShell.
So last time we did that. That's why it's we showed now the other one. Otherwise, that's pretty easy. Just double click and go for the third option. Next, finish.
No, yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to use Azure AD Connect to do mine. But,
So you forgot how to use it? Okay, we can do that again.
No, I didn't forget, but it's showing me additional task. If I should check some things before next will be active.
Okay. So either you can share your screen and we can go through. You're doing it now?
Yes, I'm doing it. I don't know. Can I log out and come in again so that I can use the laptop I'm using to connect?
Sure.
Okay, thank you. I will just sign out now.
Sure.
Okay.
So yeah, if you have to do it with the GUI interface of Azure AD Connect, then this is the way. Okay, so now there He's trying to connect. Okay, there's the screenshot. Thank you, Jamin, for that. And guys, as I requested that please create a Word document and save all the PowerShell commandlets there. This will be your treasure because you should know that which commands you tested and are working, and you can deploy them right away wherever else you want to deploy them. So create a MS Word document separately, or Notepad, just Notepad document, and name that document as PowerShell commandlets, and then simply save it. So this is suppose PowerShell commandlet document, and then simply you can just write that, or I'll just write and share it with you. So how to do AADC manually with PowerShell. That isn't okay. Now is here, and he will Raphael will share them or to the AADC sync cycle. Right. Sync cycle. So yeah, okay. Raphael is now sharing the screen. So Raphael, yeah, what you have to do is, if you want to do it with AADC, so you've opened the AADC, you can go for the third one, which is customize synchronization options. Exactly. And next. And yeah, you know what to do here.
Caps lock zone.
I hope you haven't changed the domain of Raphael GA. If it's not, then it will go ahead fine. Yeah, go ahead. If you have changed the domain to something new, then you have to put that domain now. Right. Cool. And once it goes ahead, so last time we discussed also that if you uncheck something, it deletes. So we're not going to uncheck anything. So yeah, nothing here. Let's click next. And here, sync all domains and OUs is a best option unless you have some containers in Active Directory that you don't want end up there in the cloud. Otherwise, if everything is going, whatever is there, then yeah, let's keep the first option and click next. And yes, that's the only option that we need to select, which is password hash synchronization. So that's all. Let's click next. We talked about all the other options last time, so refer to that video. And yeah, that's it, Raphael. So we're good to go, and it's next finish only. Yeah, configure. That's good. So let us know when it's done, and you are. I'm gonna share my screen now. That was it. So I'm just gonna go ahead. Very good. Welcome. And that's very good, guys, that you are fastly sharing it. And why am I using that word? Fastly. So you're sharing it fastly. I mean, you're doing the lab fastly with me. And those who are a bit slow, it's okay to be slow. I used to be slow in my class when I was a student, but slow and steady. Did you do the lab after the class? Did you do the lab day after? No, the next day. Did you do the lab? You had 7 days, 6 days. Did you do the lab at all? Otherwise, excuses are there always. And time will pass, and after 2 years, you will be thinking, oh, let me do it now. I think it is important. So better do it now, and it's the time to really work hard now. And if you're hardly working, then it's a total waste of time. Maybe you can sleep at this time now. You're not really doing the labs. Better sleep. And
sorry, I'm going to sign out, please. I'll come in again. I laptop so that I can get it.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you. Right, guys. So we did the resync. Actually, there's an error showing here by Indra and Fausia. Both are showing. So let me check that, and I'll share here. I hope it's not.
We're using
It's,
normal user, not the PowerShell admin.
oh, I think Fausia, you have to open PowerShell with admin privileges. You have to right-click PowerShell and then choose go to more, and then click open as administrator. And then just type the same command again. Same, I think Dipendra has also shown here. And oh, he's with administrator privilege.
What?
Okay, so the term, this means that you haven't deployed the module of PowerShell first. And you have to download, install, and then add the module. And then you can run those commands. Or does the AADC, so Jimin, did you have to add the module?
No, I think by default it was already there. I didn't do
Yeah,
anything.
because ADC, when it installs its PowerShell version as well, its module. So start AD sync cycle is not recognized. So maybe it's the PowerShell is older version, or hey, Dipendra, you didn't try it on the Windows 11 or Windows 10, so right? You should be going inside the virtual machine and open PowerShell there. Also, Fausia. So within the virtual machine, open PowerShell and then try to do it. Okay, so I'll just wait from there.
Avira, can you run in your machine this command, PowerShell command, so we can see the end result?
Okay, there you go. Fausia has run that here. So within the machine, you have to open PowerShell. Actually, my machine, I had some issues, so I was remotely connected to Jamin's machine. And just have to open PowerShell. But how to open PowerShell, if you're asking, that is just
I can share the screen again.
No, I don't ask you to how to go there.
Okay.
Run in your virtual machine so we can see the result.
But that result was shown in Jamin's machine, right?
That's all we need to do.
Yeah,
Just
that's
one
all we
command.
need. Exactly.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, and now go admin and oh, there are many screens. Oh, there you go. So Fausia has actually run it successfully, and this is how it looks like. So yeah, once you run it with admin privileges within the virtual machine, it shows this success, and Jamin has already shown that, and now Fausia has also shown that. So thank you for the dedication you guys are showing, and others are also dedicated, and definitely I salute that. Okay, so let's get going. We have just a few more topics to cover, so we need to go a bit fastly as well. But once it is covered and recorded properly in the video, then obviously you have it. That's it. Now it's all about you have time to repeat it. And it's only beneficial if you repeat it yourself, do it yourself. This course is only beneficial in that case. Otherwise, you're just wasting time here if you're not repeating all the labs. Okay, so let us go ahead. We've done all that. So what we have achieved till now is that we have created a local environment. We have created a cloud environment. We in the local environment, we then created users and synchronized with AADC, Azure Active Directory Connect, and those users showed up here. Then we went for some of the rules there, rule of thumb, as we can say, is that the users, wherever they were created, you can make the changes to those users there and then synchronize simply. Otherwise, synchronize happen every 30 minutes anyway. If you don't do anything, just make the change and leave it, and in half an hour, it's going to be there anyway. It works this way. So which way is this way? It works, yeah, this way. So by default, it works this way. But if you want, suppose you made any change here, and you want to so if you made any changes here, then there's a feature called write back. So with that option, you can actually write back. So you make some changes in the synchronize users, and those are very, very few changes that you can make actually. The password, right? One or two actually more, but they're very not significant. But if you make those changes here in the cloud, then you have to write back in the on-premises as well. There's that feature that will be an upcoming topic as well. But we have done this way, and then we have added the domain as well. That was also very crucial option there, that you purchase a domain from domain registrar and added it inside the Azure Active Directory and attached all the users there. So that's what we have done. Now we have to move on to what is Azure Active Directory. There are so many features. It's a whole planet itself. Else can you do in Azure Active Directory? There are so many small and big features there that you need to know. I'm gonna go into the every nick and corner, and wherever there are doable labs, or if the labs are prepared by me, like already tested, then I will show all the labs, and otherwise I'll explain in the diagram. And theoretically, I'm going to explain some of the features. But obviously, whenever I can do the lab, I will be doing the labs. So there are so many features, but you must know at least once that, oh, this feature is also there. Oh, that feature is also there. The more knowledgeable you are for the features, then the more successful you are in your job environment, in projects, or in the interview. And obviously, if you repeat and make the notes yourself, make a summary note of, oh, this feature does this, that feature does this. Suppose I explain to you a feature and you just listen to it. You don't make your own notes about this, and maybe a YouTube research on that. So then it's not going to be, again, really beneficial for you. So try to make your notes about it. And for every feature, I'm going to be putting some questions on YouTube, and then you can answer those questions. Let's see how much you have understood after research. Okay, so I'm back in my admin center. So in admin center, I want to actually now go towards Azure Active Directory. This course in
Yes, sir.
you were saying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, we created this users in Active Directory in on-prem, and we sync into Azure Active Directory. Then in here in Microsoft 365 Admin Center, we can see
Mhm.
the all users in active users.
Yes, exactly. So
How it came here? I mean, in
yeah,
this Microsoft 365 Admin
yeah.
Center.
So because admin center is all about those features, those sections that are used in daily life of an administrator. You have to come back here again. So every time, instead of opening Azure Active Directory, if it's all about users, so they have provided that in Admin Center, because for any other purpose, we have to come for roles, we have to come for resources. Resources, this is in Exchange server, which is a separate application here, the Exchange, this one, right? And domains, this is in Active Directory. Billing is only here, right? So you will have to come to the admin center anyway for other things. So they have created all those other sections that you may need on daily basis, or very frequently you will be coming back and forth. So instead of going down here and opening Exchange and waiting for it to open, and then Azure Active Directory and waiting for it to open, why don't you just do this, some of the daily things that you do here as well? So that's why they put it here as well. This is the same thing that we can do from Azure Active Directory, but Azure Active Directory has its own huge amount of features that are not available here, but those which we just daily are only here.
So all the users we created in Active Directory, it will come to on this side too, active users.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So is there any other like in active users, we have different options for the users?
No, it's pretty much the same options, exactly the same options. In fact, license giving is actually here. Suppose we go for any user, so product licenses. This is here. If we go to Azure Active Directory, where we are going, Azure Active Directory. So we are creating a new account at that time. So when it opens, and now it's entra.maxo.com, so it's new. And if we go to all users, and so licenses area here is, so if I go to new user here, I'm creating a new user now from here, right? So if suppose I go for test and display name test and go quickly to properties, so we can fill out all the information here. Assignments, group, nothing. You don't see license here. Right? I just wanted to confirm, that's why I was creating that, because anytime Microsoft adds a feature anywhere, it just appears there and it was not there before. Better to always do it and confirm it. So yes, Azure Active Directory, if you're creating a user, yes, you will be able to create a user properly, but you can't give a license. Then you have to come back here and do that in Admin Center, right? So there are things that you can do here. There are things that you can only do there in Azure Active Directory. So it's all about our being knowledgeable. So when you're creating a user, you actually have to be here, Admin Center, but you're making some changes to the profile, go to Azure Active Directory. Azure Active Directory offers much, much more than just this user. So yes, licenses, better you come here and create the users in Admin Center. And go. So here, and now I'm going to be, yes, so Fauzi says in the chat, but still we can create users. Yes, you can create users in Azure Active Directory, but license, you have to come here. So that when you create a user here in Active Directory, it will still show in the users area, but without a license. Simply come here, click, and then give a license as well. Unless, so I say that and I checked it as well, and next week or next month or for 6 months, Microsoft may add that, but it's been so long that license portion has not been added here, so it makes sense that you come here to add for the license specifically. Okay, on-prem sync success, online not changed. Ooh, so in WhatsApp, Dipindra says that synchronization was successful there. But online, I think Dipindra, it's still reaching there. It's maybe in the cloud and it's fine right now. But if it was successful on premises, it sometimes it shows it fast, and sometimes it takes time. Me once it took a lot of time. Rafael says in the chat, in WhatsApp chat, please, what tool can
What
we
was
use? You were saying?
the message sent to you only because we didn't see that message.
Oh, WhatsApp. Do
Yeah.
you have WhatsApp? No, it's in the class WhatsApp. Maybe it's showing a little slower in some people's WhatsApp. Yes. You haven't seen that? So, what tool can we use to sync two different domains? Yeah. On premises, accurate. On premises. Then it's not Azure Ready Connect, definitely. When there are two domains on premises, there are actually separate tools. It's been long since I use that tool as well. Because there are two forests, basically, domains are always connected with each other. It's a forest, two different forests that we have to connect. And in that case, you have to add the domain of one forest to the other forest. Then we can connect. So it's a pretty complicated process. So I can search and send you the documentation about that. But it's been long since I used that interdomain on premises only, interdomain application. But two domains within one forest can
Yeah, okay.
communicate anyway.
Yeah, I will appreciate that if I can get, because in my office I do
Mm-hmm.
experience a kind of problem like that. There are some
Oh,
applications. There are some applications that are tied to one of the domain. So, and if the
exactly.
password does not sync between the two on-premises Active Directory, sometimes users will complain that their password, they cannot get into the application because the password is not syncing between the two domain on-premises. So that's why I asked that question.
Yeah, password sync problems do appear in on-premises domain from time to time. but sometimes we do. I remember that we were using some script created by a developer, which kept making sure that the connections are there between the two domains. So I'll have to dig out a little and let you know. And so I'll send you some documentation. Hopefully I remember that, but just remind me again. So
Thank
I'll
you.
dig out and I'll ask. Okay. And Dipendra, yeah, okay. So yeah, we can also wait for this. Guys, so we need to go ahead. Why don't we move it? We want to. Okay, so here, what we're going to do is we're going to go to Azure Active Directory. I had opened it already. You must know, you must be knowledgeable about Active Directory as well. Yeah. Okay, so I have opened the entra.admin.com and it says I have insufficient privileges. Are you kidding me? Right. So I'll just go back there, open Active Directory again, add working dashboard, and now it opens a very active directory. Okay, never said very active directory in the job interview or in the job environment. Okay, so here Active Directory is there. So when we used to open Active Directory very recently, recent past, so it used to not show permissions management and it used to not show verified ID. So these two were added last 2-3 months ago, or a bit more further, maybe 5 months, but that's it. It used to be just this option, and even it didn't used to look like exactly this. Now we're gonna go for, so there's home, and if you click the home, it shows you that you are taken to Entra Admin Center. We recently added there, so you have to be very knowledgeable about that and secure your entire identity infrastructure with identity management and beyond. So you have to be a master of identity infrastructure and you have to be a master of identity management, managing identity. What is managing identity? You have a question?
Yes, sir. Sir, in the on-prem nowadays we have all the forest child domains and everything. So when it will go to the cloud, so all this will go to the cloud, like Azure cloud,
Oh,
or it will be
suppose you
always
have,
hybrid.
well, it depends on that. You want to keep a local environment. Suppose there is one forest. Forest is the outermost security boundary for those who don't know that. And you might actually face that in your job environment as well. What is forest? And under the forest, then there is tree, not the actual forest and tree. This is a terminology of Microsoft Network, and then there are domains, right? So you have to understand the concept. Otherwise, you can I can give you free access to my older MCSA courses where I have explained in depth forest, tree, domains, and OUs, organizational units. Okay. So suppose there are multiple domains here, domain 1, domain 2, domain 3, and you will, most probably you will, whichever company you join, you might see this kind of structure because medium to large size companies haven't totally moved to cloud. They are still in hybrid environment. So when I say hybrid just means that the company still wants to keep their critical applications here in their own branch data center, as well as some of the critical work they want in the cloud as well. That is called hybrid. So some, suppose SQL databases and SharePoint application and things are here, and some are here as well. Other applications are here as well. So that is hybrid, and most probably you will see the hybrid environment in majority of the office that they have also cloud presence and they still have on-premises presence. But suppose you have multiple domains here, 3 or 4 domains, so you don't have to create that separate structure here. Or if you want to keep the user's domain, so suppose first user domain is at domain1.com and the other user domain is domain2.com. Third user domain is domain3.com. Suppose a very big company and they have multiple domains because they have multiple products to sell. So in that case, yes, you can keep on creating those separate domains, just like we created one domain here, it's synchronized. So you can actually purchase either GoDaddy, domain registrar, domain 2, domain 3, domain 4, domain 5, and add it here. And whichever user needs to be connected here, you can connect that. Otherwise, if the users were synchronized from here from domain 3 or domain 4, you have to keep on creating then those domains here, just like I showed you, and then synchronize, and they will all represent their own domains. So yes, it all goes to the cloud if you want it to be in the cloud. Otherwise, it will not go. In hybrid environment, yes, you want to keep something here, so it's all manual. You want to move everything to cloud, yes, you can do it. Or hybrid, you can keep it and move just some to the cloud. Here, just one more thing is that you should know how VMware environment really works, because at least conceptually you should know, or watch my free videos on VMware as well. Or if you don't have access, I'll just give you access. More knowledgeable you are, sooner you will get a very good job. Otherwise, yes, oh, this is overwhelming. Yes, it is overwhelming. Don't go for it now. Whenever you feel that you can go for more knowledge, then go for it. But I'm just telling you that better know something about VMware. What is this? What is virtualization? Because if it is on-premises infrastructure, most likely you will find that this product, these VMware products will be there that you will be handling. And in the cloud, obviously, you're already learning that. Yeah, overall, it is this, that hybrid, you will find most probably in majority of the companies, hybrid infrastructure. And not only hybrid, multi-cloud. Other form you can keep in mind. Multi-cloud just means that they may have some services in Azure, may have some services in AWS, they may have some services in Google Cloud Platform. Now, you don't have to really get overwhelmed with all this. If you go in-depth Azure, learning AWS for you will be very easy, because it's pretty much the same concept, just the name is different. Names of every service is different. And it's the same here as well. Google Cloud Platform, pretty much the same concept, just the names are different. So just learn one main technology here. If you have time, go for this one as well. VMware you should know as well, before you hit the market. But you will know firsthand when they ask interview questions for VMware. Anyway, this is overall what I wanted to answer. Okay, let's go back. So here, we were talking about identity management. There are full projects going on in different companies about identity management. Your username should be accessing which service at what time, for how long, and why. Why are you accessing our cloud services? For how long you will be accessing? And who are you? I mean, are you even allowed to be connecting to our services? And what level of access? How long, who, and what access level of access you have, right? So you have to really satisfy all these questions for every user if you want to be a good administrator on-premises plus cloud environments. What level access? So this is very important. You need to resolve all that for every user. Why, how long, who, what level of access. So you have to be really scrutinizing everyone. You have to be really after. Maybe you will become the most unliked person in the company, but in terms of end users, you will be most liked by the management who pay you the salary. Right? So just like a security guard, hey, who are you? Why are you coming inside? Show me your card. So you should be like this, and you should be scrutinizing who's connecting. Do you have MFA enabled? Oh, you don't have MFA? Go back. I don't care. You have a meeting right now. Configure this MFA, or I will be configuring with you. Go after every user until the user is fully secured, because user is secured, your network is secured. User is not having proper security measures in place before they connect to your company environment. Your company environment will be in danger. Ransomware attacks are happening every day in different companies. where they just simply have illegal access to your environment. They encrypt your data, and then they ask for ransom. That okay, because when they encrypt data, you cannot read that data, right? And you really need that data. Data is gold for nowadays, right? So they will send you decryption keys if you send them millions of dollars. So that's why you have to really secure the whole environment, who's using, who's connecting, when, why, for how long. So that's where identity management comes, and you should be the master of identity management. We had just done not just 6 months ago, we finished that project of IAM, Identity and Access Management. And I had to go after every user, I had to go after every manager and ask him or her that, hey, is this your user? And manager would say, no, this user left the company 6 months ago. And I was like, seriously? So we didn't have anything in place at that time to follow up with who left the company and who has overwhelming privileges he or she is not supposed to have. And then I reduce the privileges of many users. Oh, you just have this task, and this task. Oh, you're having too much privileges for that. I remove the privileges and then tested the user. Okay, can you do it now? Then give one more privilege only. And ask the user, can you do it now? And he or she would just work with me, and then we came up with a permission structure that way, one by one. So that takes time, but then after that, your company is secure. Identity management is very critical. Okay, so we're going to go to the all users area, and there are so many users here, suppose, and there are so many features here as well. We know how to create a new user, but what about the external user? Now, in our company, we have so many guest users. Who are guest users? Obviously, vendors or project, consultants only. Right? So they are just here for one project or two projects, and that's it. Right? So invite external user, and how do you do that? We created a new user, regular user already. They can appear as members. But what about external users? So let's create an external user. External users are used for what? And you will see a lot of those. So in external users, and those external users are used. These users could be vendors. So Microsoft, you asked a consultant from Microsoft to connect and help you with some application configuration or deployment because it's the first time you're doing that, suppose so. These could be vendors or consultants that are temporarily connecting to your environment, right? So you have to be very careful, and we give guest access to these users, right? And these users should have limited roles, but sometimes the users need elevated roles as well. So sometimes these because they're consultants, they know actually more than you know. So sometimes these consultants need elevated privileges, more higher privileges. Sometimes never ever give global admin, but below that, maybe Teams administrator, maybe even go to application administrator, because these users are doing some high level work. Keep an eye on them because they're outsiders and they're here temporarily, only available. So sometimes these consultants need elevated privileges. All right. So we're going to quickly go for that. How to invite a guest user. For guest user, you have to, we do not create a mailbox for the guest user. So we just send invitation to the guest user, but we can if we want to. We simply send invitation to the user personal email, right? That's it. The user follows up from there, and the user can follow prompts. User can follow prompts. So then you can give, once the user is in the system, then you can give access to applications and even provide privileges and higher roles. If we go back here, so here we're gonna go for invite external user. I'm gonna go for click invite external user, and then here, so suppose it's the itguyme at gmail.com. So that's the email, or user belongs to another company. So in that case, that company's name. But personal email would work, or anything. So it's you can just put your name there, or Shazan invitation message. So consultant for finance application. So suppose you put something like here, anything, or for whatever purpose this consultant or vendor is being invited to for, and then you want that, hey, this invitation be received by someone else as well. You want that, suppose his manager, his company's manager, or you just want to see the invitation went even. So you can just put your email as well, that if you received it, then that user must have received it as well. Right? So I'm just gonna go for per and tease. Here you can just fill out the name. I'm not gonna fill the whole form, but and this user type is guest. Right? Do not change it to member. And job title, well, IT consultant, but we can always put that it's a vendor or consultant, whichever company, that company name. So he's a consultant from this and there, and you whatever you want to fill there. And usage location. So is he or she from Canada or any other country? So put that name, and then click manager and everything, right? So you put that assignments. Now you would be creating groups. It's always good to have groups. Like you can say that consultants, or all consultants, or you can say all vendors, or simply external user group. That's always a good idea to add those guys to a group. So from the group, you can see that how many members are there. Oh, these are all the consultants we have. Okay, good. So you can keep an eye on them as well through the group. And then you can give this group a role, maybe some privilege, that whoever's part of this group will have user administrator privilege, maybe if they are helping you to solve some user administration related problems. I don't have a group for this external user. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create a group and come back here. But I will keep this page open. I'll make a click and duplicate page of this whole page. So I don't want to go away from this. I also want to go away. So I'm just going to make a duplicate. It will load the same page. Then I'm going to go away from here and go to the to the group area. I'll create a group called external users. Then come back here and add this user to that external user group. Okay, so I'm just going to go to all users. It's a duplicate page now, right? I can do whatever I want. Users. I don't want to go to all users. I want to go to groups. Go to groups and all groups. If you click the favorites, it's going to come in the favorites as well. Okay, so once I go to the group, so there's a group, I can quickly create one group. We're going to be going in detail with groups as well, how groups really work. Sorry, guys. Okay, so I'll just put one more thing here. Link. Okay, guys. So here, yeah, I'm gonna go for new group, and that new group, you can see that it's a simple group. There are different types of groups when we come to the group topic, and this is very soon. I'm gonna check that what kinds of groups are there and what are the features. I'm gonna go for a simple group for now, and this is all external users. This is something that you must do, should do. Okay, it's still an option, but otherwise, tracking all the users is going to get become a problem. In our company, we have so many. Our departments have so many vendors coming and going, coming and going, coming and going. So it's really hard to keep a track of whose project has finished because they don't let us know. Our project is finished and this vendor will not be connecting here. It's not that really, it's not like a bank where everything is very, very, very strict. And their mistakes happen. But anyway, you have to keep an eye on them. Do you want to give this group a role? Then you can press yes here. I don't want to give a role for now. So, but if you keep it no, after group is created, you cannot then give any role. So what role I'm talking about, suppose you want to make them all application administrators. Suppose this is a group for programmers, application developers. So then you can press yes and then start giving roles to whoever's part of this group should have application administrator role. That lets the developers do a lot of things in your environment. So, well, if I press yes here, then this means that yes, in future, I intend to give some higher privileges to this group. So it's assigned. Otherwise, suppose I click this. So there are two other types here as well. We will be discussing these two as well. Right now, I'm just going to press yes. And I'm not giving any role right now, but in future, I may give some role. So I'm pressing yes here. So owners, I'll just add myself as the owner. Where should on back to members? That user has not been created yet. So I don't have any members to add as external user, right? So I'll just keep it as is. And roles, if I click the roles, all the roles come here. Better later give that maybe directory readers, so that person can just go around and fix things. Oh, this is this, but to not be able to make any changes. So in the start, directory readers role could be given, but it's up to you how fast you want the consultant to start working. Anyway, I'm not giving any role right now, and going across. And that's it. One owner selected, no member yet, but later we're going to be adding members. So click 3 and 8. And creating a group to which Azure AD roles can be assigned is a setting that cannot be changed later. Yeah, I know that. So we should be knowing that. Yeah, later you cannot change it back to no. Right? Or if it's no, later you cannot make it yes. Press yes. So one group got created. I'll refresh this here. And one group got created. I'll refresh again. And okay. Monday or Sunday. Oh, there you go. External users. So this is done. Hopefully this window, I'm just going to go back to the other window where I was going to add this user to a new group. If right now I cannot add, then later I can still add. I'm going to click add group here now, the other tab. And yeah, there you go. All external users is showing here. So any vendor that we create a vendor account, or better add that person to the group as well. Okay, select, and he's added to the group. Add a role. We don't want to add role right now, but we can add from here as well. Review plus invite, that's it. And now click in and invite. So once you invite, which email was it? It's my Gmail, right? So I'm going to tell that vendor, maybe I'll call him, or it is already there, so I can email him or her that, hey, we have sent an invitation. Can you follow that invitation now? So I'll check my email on the other screen and hopefully show you the icon. So on the other screen, when following, and you got the invitation already. Yeah, I got the invitation to access a division within their organizations. So I will pop
Got the
up that
invitation.
link screen. Got it? Okay.
I got it.
Oh, nice. So I will show it now. This is what I got. And invited you to access applications within their organization. Sender is this. And this is the domain. So I am, as a consultant now, seeing this consultant for finance application is from this guy. So I'm told that if you accept this invitation, you will be sent to this. So I'm just going to accept this application. It will take me to my applications.microsoft.com, which is supposed to be not populated right now. It should be an empty screen because the administrator there hasn't added me, the consultant or vendor, to any application yet. But once I accept the invitation and properly go there, so I will be added inside the system. Once I'm inside the system, then I could be added the administrator to any application. So I'm going to accept the invitation here. And so then this shows here, that's another screen that opened. And it shows that this site uses cookies. If you're hungry, you can take some cookies. Sign in, we'll send a code to ID guy me to sign you in. Okay, that's good. So send me a code. I want to sign in as a to be entered in the system. I just want to follow the prompts. I'm just gonna click OK, send code, and code has been sent to obviously the email where I received the invitation. So I'm gonna go to that email again, and there is another email now, inbox, and that email is the code. Okay, there's a single use code, and yeah, I got the code here. I'll just copy it here. This is the code 6224640. Sign in. Just follow the prompts, and that's it, right? So if you want to stay signed in, up to you. I click no. And then it says this that permission requested by Microsoft, and my company domain name is showing here. By accepting, you allow this organization to receive your profile data, collect and log your activity, use your profile data and activity data. Yeah. So obviously, I'll have to accept because I need to be part of the system, and so they could add me to the application that I am, as a consultant, going to be helping them out with. So then how do you want to connect? It says here, yes, it's ID guy me. So I'm just going to sign in there. And there you go. So this is the whole screen, but you're now in the system as a consultant. But whichever application you will be given access to will show here, or they will give you access, or they will give you a link. Click. As soon as you click that link, because you will have access and you're in the system, you will be able to access that application. That's the external user adding process here, and if the user reaches here, it's all good. So the user could be added anywhere. So is the user showing here as a guest user in this environment, right? So if I go for, yeah, there you go, Amir Shahzad. So it says here ext external, and it also shows your user type. So this is how you can see, oh, this user is added in the system. Now it's showing here. So now you can add anywhere, right? Also, if I go to the groups, all groups, that's where we also added this user. All external users, and then members. Yes, there's that user here. Okay, this is the external user, and it's pretty straightforward. Nothing complicated here. So I'm gonna go ahead and okay. So Fauzi has shared the screen. I think you have given some. I think you have given E5 license to this user. So this user, yeah, myapplications.microsoft.com, and this user has all the applications also showing. So if you have given the E5 license, then yeah, just click the user and give E5 license, and there you go. you will get all the access. And yes, so Fozia has shared all the screenshots there. So licenses and apps. Select the user and licenses and apps, right? That's very good. Nice work. And you can then, if the user is in the system, you can do exactly what you can do with other users. Very good. Thanks for sharing that. And let's get going. So we have, if I go to all users here, then we have here external users. Okay, so how long do we wait for invite to come through? Invite comes soon. I mean, right away actually. But I'm not sure why it's not coming to you. I think you have to wait for that. Maybe internet speed and other things matter. So it does come fast. Okay, so here, guys, then there is download users feature, and download users is, if I click that, so it simply downloads all the information about the users here. You click start here, and then in progress shows that it's in progress and downloading all the information about the users. So many times you do need that information, and then click here to view status of each operation. It shows, and then Vinder says in the WhatsApp chat that he didn't get it. Then send again, or Vinder, you have to check the spellings when you were inviting that user, that email spelling. So it could be any of those things. Try to troubleshoot then. ONK file is ready. Click here to download. If I just download the file at documents, this is the file that got downloaded. And how it looks like is so these are the users, and that's a lot of information about the users, right? So it's just pretty simple, straightforward. Whatever was in Active Directory is in your CSV file. You can open an Excel file as well and modify the information, manage information. So then there is bulk operations here. So what is bulk operations? So there's a big no. Dipendra has shared a screen and shared an email. 665j3t.onmicrosoft.com. Oh, the guest is showing there actually. Yeah, so Dipendra, you're actually good. But the invitation is not there. You have to accept that or check the spam, or but it could be somewhere in the folder in the Gmail. Okay, guys. There's that bulk create, invite, and bulk delete. So it's the bulky operation. And what is that? So bulk operations are, for, so we do mass modifications for users with bulk operations. So, well, this is what bulk operation is all about. You want to go for a lot of modifications there when you do this. So it's suppose you want to create a lot of users, suppose you want to delete a lot of users. So it's just that. Okay. So if we go ahead and I'll create, when you create a lot of users, obviously you need to follow the the instructions. What are the instructions? You have to put the names of the users in this file, and it should be in a proper format. Then when you upload this file, users will be created. So what is the format? You need to put the names in. It will accept and create users for you. Remember that we use PowerShell script. You can do from here as well. Download, and it will show you the format. It says user create template. Save. And then click. Here it just simply gives you an example. Hey, you want to create a user, and it's a pretty simple one. And they suggest a password as well. So this is the example that why don't you just put some name there, and so I'm just gonna put suppose it's Amir user 22 add. So instead of the example, I'm just putting that in the first column. I will remove the example chris@contoso.com. I will remove that line. So I think my domain name is, I have to copy the domain name at least. Where's the domain name? This is the domain name. I'll come back here, but I do need the domain name here. Yes, I'll copy this and I'll tab. I'll go to this screen and paste it. So this is the domain name, and the password would be the next column, obviously. So there's that password. You could just go for whatever password, and I'm just giving scenario and block sign in. No, I don't want the sign in to be blocked. Oh, actually, the columns are there. Yeah. Name. This is the name. Sorry. So I have to still move the password to the password column and the email to the email column. So it is that, and this was actually the name. So honor message 22. So that's how it should be. ONK. So I don't want this line now. I mean, and you can just go ahead and create like thousands of users this way. But this would be the thing that you can create. So you can create one user or 1,000 users. It's up to you. This is the way. So I'll just put that here. Now I need to save this file, upload it there, and it will first cross-check if it was in proper format, and then it will either give you error or it will actually create that account. Right? So I'm going to go for save here, and then I'll close this, and I'll go to all users because I need to upload that file, right? So where's the bulk operations? This is the bulk operations, and this is bulk create. And then I need to upload the CSV file. It should accept first. Is that the correct format or not? Otherwise, it will reject it, give you an error. So export user, no, user create. This is the bulk operation CSV. Double click that. It says file uploaded successfully. If the format was not correct, you made a mistake, you give an error here at this stage. And click up and submit. So if it submits it successfully, then the user would have been created. User will be created. This is in progress. There we go. It's done. So the user armor /22 should be showing. So I'll just click and refresh. There we go. So the user is showing here. So you can create this way hundreds or thousands of users. Okay, so that was bulk operation number one. Bulk operation number two is the bulk invite. This is what we did just now. One invite, but you want to invite hundreds of users maybe. So you can go for bulk invite here. You have to then put information according to the platform, according to the format that it requires. So I'm just going to download that file to know what is the format. User invite template.csv. I'm just going to press save. And if you want to invite some vendor from outside, you have mentioned your personal email or other company email. And so the options here are, icons here are, just says that what is the email address in the column. Column asks for email address. This is a redirection URL that every guest user is shown. And then send invite message. Yes, it's true. And customized invitation. You want to say something in invitation message, you can put it here. So already invited a user. You can just fill out this information if you want to invite someone. some other email and test the whole thing. But this is for large number of users if you want to do in one go, or one by one inviting all the users. I'm going to close that because we just did that invite. And if we go for delete, bulk delete, so you want to delete a lot of users, why would you want to go here? Obviously, if there are thousands or hundreds of users that you want to delete instead of one user, second user, third user, fourth user, suppose it's in hundreds. So once you're clicking that like this, after 10 or 20 users, oh, that user, yeah, and that user. So you could, by mistake, delete the wrong user as well. It's all about clicking, right? So with click, 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 and it takes a lot of time if it's hundreds of users. So, you've already downloaded download users. So you wrote the list of all the users, right? So those from that list, you can add users carefully in the file first, bulk delete. I'm just going to click bulk delete here. I'm going to download the file to see the format and fill it. So if I go there, and this is user delete.csv. And I'll open that, user delete.csv. There's a so far it has already shown that, and that is okay in WhatsApp. So user was invited or created. Okay, that's great. That's excellent. Now I'm gonna just try to delete user. So which user should I delete? But what is the format that is required? Only the full UPN, user principal name. So Chris at name. So username at domain name. That's all is needed, right? So I had that actually already created. So if I go to documents and what user I just created now, click. If the file is still opening, yeah, there you go. So this is the user I just created in the bulk create, right? So the email that I gave, or the user principal name that I gave, or the full name of the user that I gave is this. So this is only required to delete a user. So I'm going to close this. No, not close it, but because I need to copy paste there. And I'm going to put it in the user delete CSV. So this time, user that I created from bulk create, I'm going to delete from bulk delete. Then you can just put all the hundreds of users here carefully, double check the whole list again and again, and then simply upload the file, and Active Directory, Azure Active Directory will delete it for you. So this is the username. I'll just save it, close, save and close, and then go back to bulk delete users, and we'll be uploading this file now. We'll check the format of the file, user delete, we'll click that. And but it says an extra step here. Are you really sure that you want to delete these users? So I press yes here as well. I hope you have checked the list again and again. Any user by mistake put there and deleted, you will be in big trouble. So click submit. File uploaded successfully. Okay, first check the format, and format is okay. Now it's just processing the request. And your review in progress, right? So this user should be gone. Yeah, operation succeeded. We just have 22 users. Where are users? For this is in the chat, WhatsApp chat. So I was not able to do in my environment the synchronization because there was an error and I didn't have time to troubleshoot in last class. So that's why I have just few users here. Okay. So yeah, that's why they are showing here as well. And this is done. File upload succeeded. File is ready. Click here to download. File is ready, click here to download just means that it's going to give you the progress of what happened or result of what happened. So if I click that, you delete one. So anyway, I'm not opening that file. Close. This user should be gone if it says successful, right? So if I refresh now, here, so that is it. That your 22 is gone. And Devinder says in the WhatsApp chat, sorry, in the invite user template, what's the second column? Invite user template is so invite user template. The second column is all about that it's the user will be taken to this environment, this blank page that I was showing you. So that's the link for that blank page. The second column is supposed to be exactly the same for all the invitees. The only thing that changes here is the email, personal email or company email of the user, and the rest are exactly the same. Suppose you put a custom message here as well, copy paste the whole thing here for all the users. This column only changes the invite. So so we can do this and like, oh, template, what's the second? Yeah, okay, you put here as well. I answered that. And Sandeep says in chat, WebEx chat, how we clean up on-premises after delete user from Azure. So on-premises is pretty simple. Like on-premises, if you want to actually delete the user. So there are two. This is an interesting question, as the question is how we delete on-prem users in this hybrid environment where there's cloud as well as on-premise. So first thing is the question that arises: do you want to delete the user only from cloud but not on-prem? So there's that one question. Do you want to delete user from both on-prem and cloud? Right, so that would be much easier. If you want to delete from there, do you want to delete? Suppose the first question is this: do you want to delete the user only from cloud, but go on the on-prem DC domain controller? Simply open ADC, Azure AD Connect, and move the required user to another container, which is OU container, the yellow folder, and then in next page, keep that container checked. So once you keep it unchecked, this means you are telling the Azure AD Connect, don't send any information about this user, and in fact, delete this user. So then this user then complete ADC wizard. This user will be deleted only from cloud, but will remain in on-prem. That's a process for that. I did explain that
That's good.
in previous class. Yeah, you're saying?
Yeah, I say this good one. Yeah, never thought of this one. Yeah, thanks.
Oh, thank you. And then, do you want to delete a user from both on-prem and cloud? That would be much easier. Go to on-prem and delete the user from where? From EUC, Active Directory Users and Computers. The book icon, right? The yellow book icon. So delete from, the user from ADUC and then sync with ADC. The user will not be there at all. time you don't have to move anything there. Obviously, the user is not even there in ADC. So when AADC sync goes next, without any changes, all selected, everything selected, next, user will not be there in the OU anyway. So AADC will simply check all the users and will then delete that user as well. So because it will not find it in the AADC itself. Now, guys, this is very interesting, and this will be I will give it to you as an assignment. You have to maintain this environment, obviously. So I'll put it as this is pretty easy to check, right? So you can just take a screenshot of the results. But assignment for you to do, and then the screenshot. I'm just putting it in WhatsApp. This is the assignment. Test it and let everyone know that okay, this is the results, and so assignment. So try to do it yourself and try to find out. Yep.
Perfect. So with the hybrid environment, so the best practices is better to delete the stuff from the on-premises and sync it. Kind of best practice,
Yeah.
what I understood from the
Because
conversation. Okay.
because the user
So there's a
was
less headache to keeping the user here and there, right? So gotcha.
exactly. So the main rule of thumb will be wherever the user was created, go there. Origin of the user, go there. That's the rule of thumb.
Okay, gotcha.
Oh, and here, so guys, this is assignment, and I'm sure there are many students who are ready to jump on it. I really salute your dedication. You are trying pretty much everything, and you're working hard to actually make it happen. And if there is any troubleshooting involved, you're troubleshooting as well, and you're helping each other. So that's very good, and really need that dedication from all students, because that's the way you get a very good job, right? When you really work hard, you make it happen, you troubleshoot, you help each other, and you share your results with each other. Those guys really get the job faster. So yeah, it's all about hard work and repetition of the lab. ONK. Just eyes on the price, guys, and that is I want to get 35 per hour job, 45 per hour job. So yes, that only comes with hard work. So there is no shortcut to it. It's only hard work, hard work, hard work. Repeat, repeat, repeat. Take notes of all the concepts and do all the labs again and again. Go crazy about it. Okay. So let's go ahead. And we were talking about we were talking about that. Yeah. So here we are in all users area in entra.microsoft.com, and inside Entra we are inside Azure Active Directory. So there's bulk operations, refresh, and then there's manage view, edit columns. There are not a lot of columns added, so it's always useful to go to the columns, and you can add more columns as well. So these are all the principal name should be showing, but there's a very long list that you can still add that, oh, I want to see that information, this information of that user as well. So you can add column, and then account enabled, is that already there? No. So suppose you add column, it just adds the next available each group, and you keep adding column. Either you go this way, or for the next column, you actually want something very specific about the user. So on premises side of that user, object ID of that user, mobile phone of that user, if it's not showing here, so you can street address or zip code or whatever you want to add. So all this you can add by yourself, and then you can then you can download that information from here, because not all columns related information was downloaded. But if you want full information, anything that Azure Active Directory holds, you want to download that and see in the CSV or Excel file, then first add all the columns and then download the users, and you will find much more information about it, provided that you entered that information in the first place when you were onboarding that user for the first time, when that user arrived, and you put enough information there. Some information is provided by Active Directory, more information you provide. So it's up to you what you want to add. But the columns there, I'm going to click save here. They are very useful, and when I have more information about every user, you can keep on adding columns here. And then per user MFA, this is obviously the most important thing. If MFA, multi-factor authentication, is not configured for any user, then why are you on this job as an Azure administrator? Because that is so critical. So I'm just gonna put per user MFA. If I click that, so I need to go to, this is the page for multi-factor authentication, that which user has multi-factor authentication enabled, and which user does not have multi-factor authentication enabled. So that's a very bad report. That's a very bad page I'm seeing here, and this would be outrageous that MFA is disabled. So if you're managing an environment, check if every user has this enabled. So suppose I go for Adele and click that and click enable. And enable multi-factor authentication, yes. So when she logs in the next time, she will be offered this option of this wizard will come as soon as she tries to access any of the online applications of the company. So first she has to go through this and she has to configure that. When you enable that, so if suppose I click enabled and close, in first class, I think the second class, we had I had shown you how to enable multi-factor authentication for my account. So this is the same experience that's going to be shown to the other user as well. But you have to enable it. If you click again, it says disable, force, and manage user settings. I actually am dead serious about enabling multi-factor authentication on all accounts. So I'm going to click enforce. Enforce says after multi-factor authentication is enforced, users will need to create app passwords. So when you are accessing apps, so this is Excel is an app, PowerPoint is an app. You want to save all the configurations. So suppose I go to the PowerPoint, I am logged in from the this user account that was created for me in Azure and Microsoft 365. So this account, if you want this application to have a license, you have to log in from your Microsoft 365 username password. Right? Otherwise, this will expire in 2-3 days. They will give you just 2-3 days time of using it, and then it will expire. You won't be able to use majority of the features, or whole application will not open at all. So if you're logged into this, it might, suppose you're logged in from this PowerPoint in laptop, but you want to log in from this same PowerPoint application in your cell phone. So it will prompt you for, hey, what's your MFA code? So this is where enforce comes in, that it will ask you, it will confirm, hey, is it you who is adding Excel file in cell phone or in PowerPoint file in a cell phone? If it's you, then why don't you give me a code for, let's just confirm if it is you, right? So this is how it is that you can enforce. So I'm just going to click enforce as well, and it just simply prompts for, hey, what's the code? That's it. So you have to check your cell phone, the code there. That's it. You go ahead. You have to click enforce on all these users, but the experience is still the same what we did on day 2. That you just go click next and just simply scan the code, and there you go. Either you scan the code or just have yourself texted from the cell phone. So that's just multi-factor authentication, but you have to enable it. Right? And it also shows you that, oh, you want to check the MFA status of billing administrators, global administrators, password administrators, service administrators, user management administrators, especially the administrators better have this enabled, and well, pretty much all the users, no exceptions at all. Every user must have this, right? Now we'll see messages after this break. Okay, so yeah, Devinder says after this break, and definitely we are taking a break. So, all right, guys. So break and class starts 12:18, 12:28, 12:38, 12:38 ish. Okay. So see you then. Pausing and muting. All right, guys. So let us go ahead and we're gonna go with there are some commentees here. Comments here. What does the difference between enforce and enable? Enforce means James says pushing any policy forcefully to users, and enable mean to turn on the policy. Why do we use enforce when we can enable a policy? So enforce, enforce and enable just is about this is the enforce, right? So manage user settings here. Now enforce would be for applications mainly. This main application is going to be, suppose this PowerPoint application you have opened here. I have opened this application here. So if I enforce MFA, so when you open the same application in another device, suppose another laptop, you're logged in from the same credential, and also you're opening the same application again, so it will ask you to put a password there, or it will ask you for multi-factor authentication that hey, you're opening this application in another device or in a cell phone or tablet. So you need to put that multi-factor authentication code, so I could allow you to open this application again. But if you just enable it, so it does not really, you can open application in 5 devices. Whenever you open this same application in other 5 any other devices, so it will not really ask you the multi-factor authentication code. Enforce is just for, hey, you want to open application in multiple devices, so I am enforcing this multi-factor authentication first, that are you the same person who is opening this same application in another device. Enable means that, yeah, go ahead, open all the applications in whichever device you're allowed to open, maximum 5 devices. So, but it doesn't ask for a multi-factor authentication code. O and A. So that is it. And let's go ahead and try to explore the further options there. So I'm going to go ahead and so we were talking about Azure Active Directory here. Preview features is just that any new feature that is coming, you want to preview it or you want to check it out, that new feature, upcoming feature, but they're not really ready for whatever feature they're introducing. It's not production ready. There always are some kind of faults there, but you want to preview them. Oh, this is the upcoming new feature. Wow, okay. So it's enabled already. We don't need to really change anything here. Or maybe you want to disable it, not to show users what is new coming. Other than that, in the all users, you see audit logs here. So audit logs are really good because which user used which service at what time and date. So audit log automatically is enabled. You don't really have to enable it. And there are columns here, just the user agent or all other columns are there, that what service was used. Suppose online Excel file was opened, suppose online any other service was opened, so at what time, what service by who was opened, right? So all this audit log shows that. Then there's sign-in logs. Sign-in logs also show that which user signed it at what time, signed in at what time. So this is really important, and it's really pointing the location. So suppose you're on this page, do you see your city there correctly reported or not. I see Tobico here, and yes, exactly, that's where I'm connecting from right now. But do you see a correct city? Some very rarely I've seen that city is wrong here. It pinpoints. Once my director connected from California, so and she's obviously always showing here Canada and Mississauga, but on the weekend it was showing California. So I asked her that, hey, you were on the weekend, you were in California, or somebody else actually hacked your account and connected from California? So she said, oh yes, I was in California. So if you see anything out of the way, you don't know that the user actually traveled this far, 3,000 kilometers, right? 3,000 kilometers. So if the user went this far, it's better that you know. You can just confirm with the user, hey, it's showing this here. So did you travel that far? Because sorry, I didn't know that. Otherwise, suppose you ignore that. You assume that the user actually may have gone to London on the weekend and then come back. And you see actually a user who normally connects from Canada, but it's London, England, that this user is also shown connecting from. And okay, you assume that maybe the user traveled to London, but that's a lot of distance. So it doesn't kind of make sense unless you know that the user is on vacation. So suppose about some user, you see that it says London, England is written there, and you know that this user is not gone on vacation. He or she did not apply for vacation. So you have to be inquisitive about that. You have to ask the user. You just put a chat in the Teams that, hey, are you on vacation? Because I see that you logged in from London, England. So this information you cannot ignore. And the user might be even pissed off that, hey, so what if it's showing London? Maybe it's your software. So let the user say whatever the user wants to say, but you're the security, you're the administrator there, right? So you need to make sure that no hacker actually gained access from another country, and you can't just really assume that, oh, maybe that user legitimately went there. So you have to go after that user and ask, okay, this is pretty far place. So did you actually travel there? Or could be that, which is not supposed to happen. The user may have shared his or her username password with another user who is actually really far off in another continent. So that is totally wrong. In that case, this information, sign-in information, is really critical, and you have to be inquisitive and go after the users. Hey, did you log in from there? Did you log in from there? And make sure that user's MFA was enabled. And so otherwise, hacker attacks happen when you ignore things like this. That it's not possible that the user was connecting from that place, and you know that the user is actually here. And investigate right away, then and there. Ask the user right away. Pop the question there. So for security concerns, we're asking this question. So were you there? Anyway, so diagnose and solve problems. This is just also interesting that you can try to check whatever common problems that come, and you want to troubleshoot those. So you want some kind of documentation for specific well-reported scenarios. So then those scenarios are showing here. And it's good to really increase your knowledge by going to those view guidance or view guidance here or troubleshoot. Excuse me. Yeah, this is something that is good for knowledge. But whenever you're stuck, actually, just check here in diagnose and solve problems that the problem that you're facing, is it here as well? Resolve Azure AD Connect common users and group sync issues, right? This problem is also showing here, and if you go for view guidance, so they give you all the steps here as well. Remember that market needs troubleshooters, right? So are you good in troubleshooting? For troubleshooting, you should be knowledgeable first. So you can get knowledge by going through these articles, and especially the specific scenarios related documentation Microsoft has provided. Oh, you're stuck with this particular issue. So this, check that, check this, check that, and this really increases your knowledge, right? So, excuse me. Then there is delete users preview. So remember that I was telling that by mistake users can be deleted as well. So these users are showing here, but how long will the deleted users stay here? 30 days. After that, they are permanently deleted. Okay, permanently deleted. So in WhatsApp chat, um, Raphael says, is it possible to restrict users within a specific country and enable them on permission to connect to the cloud if they are out of known location? Yes, that's a very good question. And how do you really restrict users to a country? So suppose a user is supposed to only connect from Canada, but the user actually goes to US on the weekend and wants to connect from there, and he or she did not inform anyone. You have a restriction there, and you properly conveyed it to all the users that this is the policy. You leave the country, you tell us first, right? And we will enable that access for you. But the user just goes and tries to connect from US, so user will not be able to connect. I mean, how to implement that? So it's done through conditional access policy. So what is that? This is an upcoming topic as well. But if we go to conditional access, that is in identity and governance, and there is conditional access here. In fact, for user experiences, security as well. So yeah, well, it's done with conditional access policies, but there it is. So conditional access. With this, you can restrict. We'll be going through this in detail, obviously, when we move ahead from that topic. But you can create a policy in conditional access, and then you can restrict the user. It's tricky, but you can. It can be done with conditional access policy. That's the answer to that. But how it is exactly done, I can share that documentation as well. We're going to be exploring conditional access policies in detail as an upcoming topic. But yes, it is done with conditional access that you can restrict the user to only connect from the country they are supposed to connect, and if they go out without telling you, they cannot connect. So yes, we're going to be talking about that, but the answer is conditional access. Let's keep going. Here, the deleted users are there for 30 days. So you can recover that user, restore users. If I just go do that, so I'm just going to click that, and there's a restore user. So I'm just going to restore that user, press OK, and that user has been restored. It says here, and refresh. So I'll just go back. It may take time to show. Here, refresh. Yeah, refresh. So one day, Monday or Sunday, you're gonna do that, but you can restore that as well. Password reset. So password reset is obviously every user is supposed to have a password reset. He or she can should be able to reset the password for themselves. So self-service password reset enabled. Wow, this is not good. So it should be enabled, obviously. I'll just enable it for all, but you suppose you want certain users not to have that kind of service that they can reset their own password. It doesn't make sense. Why should they not have? So then you can just add certain groups only. I'm just going to click all and click save here. We can change that to all. So all users should be able to reset, but by default, it's on none. So if you haven't visited this option in your environment, your production environment, then you should visit that. Okay, so if we go for authentication methods, so there is authentication methods for SSPR and sign-in can now be managed in one converged policy. So we're going to be talking about SSPR, but it's all about you are able to change your password. yourself. Self-service password reset, SSPR is self-service password reset. You should be able to reset your password, obviously. Do you want it to be two authentication methods? Like from email, you can reset your password. From cell phone, you can reset your password, right? Or you want to make it two authentication. So anyone, when you say one, it could be either from email, you can also reset, or from mobile phone, you can also reset your password. Or two, you have to reset from email as well as from mobile. Otherwise, your password will not be reset. So you have to go to both applications device and then reset. So obviously, it's any one of the email. You can even add more here that even from mobile app you can reset the password, but it's anyone, not any two. So that would just make the user more frustrated. If we go for registration here, so that's just already registered. So obviously, number of days before users are asked to reconfirm their authentication information. So after 180 days, you want a prompt to be coming, hey, you are who you say you are. So why don't you put your password and confirm with us with your multi-factor authentication that you are who you say you are. So that is 180 days. I can change it to 60 days. Every 60 days, please just identify yourself again. Put your password again if you were logging in with PIN. So put a password again and also confirm with authentication, multi-factor. So I'm going to click save here, but I've reduced the days to 60. Other than that, in password, this is just password reset that we're talking about, right? So there will be some questions coming to you at the end of the class on YouTube. I'll be putting that link tonight, and let's see that how your concepts are evolving. Can you explain some of the concepts there? So I'll be putting 2 or 3 questions there in YouTube, and let's see in the comments area if you can answer correctly, right? And you can research and then answer. So here, notifications. Notify users on password reset. Obviously, I would want to notify users that your password is reset. Notify all admins when other admins reset their password, right? So you are an administrator, I am an administrator, it's a big company, and you actually reset when other admins reset their password. So you reset my password. So there should be at least one email, or other admin reset another admin's password or other user's password. So I should be getting an email as well as an admin only. So you want that. I'm just going to press yes here, but some admins go keep it no. There are other ways to notify as well. So then that's just your preference and company compliance, not our preference. Company compliance policy. We should be following what? Company compliance policies. Right? Customization. This is help desk URL. Suppose you created a static website and somebody is trying to reset the password. So you want a web page to be loaded that shows that the administrator, this is the help desk email and help desk number in case you fail to reset the password. So if you have any kind of URL, you can press yes here, and when the user is actually resetting the password, and either the URL keeps showing there, or when the user is unable to reset the password, then the URL shows here, oh, you can call and contact this number, right? So you can just customize it as well. On-premises integration. Okay, no agents that are capable of performing password write-back have been detected. Install a sync agent and set up your sync engine before enabling password write-back. So what is password write-back? So password write-back is this, that you change your password here, and so there's user John here, and user John's synchronized account is here. If user John is a synchronized user, you go to on-premises environment, change user John's password and use AADC to synchronize. We know that, right? But suppose some admin user John requested, hey, can you please change my password? And the admin actually didn't bother to go connect to this environment. Admin just went here in the cloud and changed user John's password. First of all, can we change the password of synchronized users? Anyone, quickly? Can we change the password of a synchronized user? Yes, no. So is it a yes or no? Can we change the? Okay, this is yes. Jamin says yes. And Raphael says yes. So are you sure? Obviously you must have checked it, right? So when you change the password, or obviously you should check it. I mean, I was saying all along that yes, we can change, but obviously you have checked it. Now my synchronization accounts are not there, but definitely this is what will happen. So suppose administrator went to the synchronized user's account in cloud and changed the password. Now this password is different currently from the password that is on premises, right? Password 2 is here, password 1 is there. And unless there's a write back attempted every 30 minutes, so you have to enable the feature called write back. Okay, where's that feature? Well, we have to show that too. So I think Jamin, you can share your screen and we can, you have to open AADC and you have to enable or select the button write back. So let's try to just see that. Suppose the password was changed up there, so write back button has to be enabled, and then every 30 minutes, whatever is what happened here and needs to be written back will be written back as well. But where's that button? I can show in the Jamin's environment. Thank you very much, sir. And so there we are. And now write back, password write back, there's a full lab on that, right? So I'll be sharing that step-by-step Microsoft document for you to implement as an assignment number 2. But yeah, Jimin, you may go to the domain controller, the virtual machine, and then there we have to open AADC. ADC. So once there is, oh yeah, so we can just log into that admin, and then once you're there, now here we don't have to do anything in Active Directory, so we can minimize all that. Need to open AADC. So Azure Active Directory domain connect. Once we minimize all, and then we double click that. Yes. Here, what we need to do is we will go to the same regular next. So configure. Third option is customize synchronization options. And yeah. Yeah. We have to put the password, and that's very good MFA implementation there. Now, so McDonald's, Mario McFlurry, so good. Anyway, so here we don't need to do anything here. Yeah, we'll go to the next screen. Thank you. And yeah, nexter. And yeah, here. So there's password write back, this one. So are we able to check it? Yep, we are able to check it. So if there were groups, then we can also write back that. But password write back is the one that we need to select. Now, once this is selected and next finish, then it becomes part of the regular 30-minute changes that needs to be implemented. Now, we have told Microsoft Azure AD Connect, AADC, that hey, from now on, you're going to be not only just sending profile information and password from on-premises to cloud, but from cloud to on-premises every 30 minutes, you have to do the write back, at least password write back as well. So that would be any password change in the cloud for synchronized users should be sent back and updated on the on-premises environment as well. Right? So, okay, one more thing to test here, Jamin, is that suppose go ahead and click next and finish the process. But once it is successfully done, we're going to close it. Now, we need to check one more thing. What is that? Did that write back option permanently got selected, or every time we have to again come back to the last page and select the button write back? So write back, right? So we're going to check that out now. Instead of assuming or digging down the documentation and spending a lot of time, we'll just know right away that did it remember that option of password write back? We'll check it out once it is all done. And so oh wow, it takes time. Yeah, it's enabled password write back. It's showing that it could give you an error because password write back is a full process with more options to be selected. But let us see if that is the case. But yeah, this is something that in a hybrid environment you have to enable later on. What is password write back is taking time, which is this range. And I hope it doesn't give an error at the end after all this. Uh, Training Azure AD Connect Health Agent for Sync. Okay, good. And then the start.exe. And wow, my kids, seriously. Kids and the birds. Everyone's screaming. Okay. Like once this is done, then guys, you're supposed to check one more thing. What is that? You can change the password of a synchronized user, but this is again the third assignment, or maybe second assignment. Okay, this is done.
Done.
Yeah, okay.
Exit.
Yeah, exit. And then we're gonna check back again by starting the AADC again. And we're gonna just check that write back option is a permanent selection that we did, or it actually has to be selected every time separately. So it's good to confirm all the options and their scenarios, whatever doesn't take more time. So let us okay, so yep. Oh man, yeah, it's gonna ask. This is very good that it asks for username password. Otherwise, we can always go for the PowerShell commandlet with write back option, and we can put it to task scheduler in Windows, and it just simply runs at the schedule type. But if it's just simply added there now as a permanent option, then that would be so good. So yes, that option is, oh, sorry, I didn't see your screen. Did you select it or was it already there?
It was already there. If I go to back
Okay.
screen, then next is already selected.
That's the one more thing that I wanted to just clarify in the video, that so once you select that, now it should be the case that you change the password of a synchronized user up there in the cloud, that it should write back that thing here. And how do we check if the password was written back? That's why we need Windows 11 as well. So that comes into the equation now, because we will soon be adding Outlook and Teams applications from the cloud to be added to the Windows 11. So guys, yes, we were supposed to install Windows 11 in last class, but why don't we just do that now, because we will need it from time to time, because we need a client machine to really test some of the client side once we implement some policies on the server side or in the cloud side. So okay, thank you, Jamin, for that. And what we will be doing now, I'm just going to share my screen, and what we need is a client machine that needs to be properly added to the cloud environment. And how do you log in from that? Which administrator account and end user account use? So that would be very beneficial, because it's gonna really look like you're actually in a production environment with some live updates that are happening to the user. Obviously, users must not be disrupted whatever we are doing. So that is something that needs to be checked. So what we can do now is we can quickly install. Let's quickly install Windows 11 ENT Enterprise Edition, and join it to domain. There are some settings that you need to follow strict exactly as I show. Other than that, before that, what we were able to find out was that in the password, so just for in the slide, that password write back, um, we must enable this option in AADC. It will be permanently selected for future synchronizations. Guys, assignment is to share the results of synced users password change in the cloud being successfully written back to on-prem Active Directory or DC. Okay, the main controller. So, well, that's the assignment number 2, which means for today, it was 3 or 2. So this needs to be tested. I showed you that how to enable it. Is that all that we need to enable, or is there something else? So the more hard work you do, the more experience, confidence you get. That is really needed to get a good job, right? Good paying job. So the more hard work now will really result in very good job for you, definitely. Okay, guys, I'm gonna go back to what we were doing. We need a client environment to really try to explore all the production environment options and really replicate them here. That how client will really be affected with whatever changes we are making. It's so easy to make changes here, but is that even a good idea? So what I'm going to do is I'll install the Windows 11. Guys, did we download Windows 11? Everyone downloaded? Yes? No? Maybe? I think last time I gave the link for Windows 11. Okay, so it's yes. Sandeep Jamin says yes. Windows 11 was downloaded, right? I'll still give the link anyway, because last time we were supposed to download. So this is the link for Windows 11. Radha says yes. Okay, that's very good. I'll put the link for Windows 11 download, but you can just follow the video then. If you haven't, Fauzi says yes. Okay, that's good. And let's do it. I'm just going to. I actually did that. So here I'm going to just simply connect to the okay, so the VMware work session. I'm connected to that, and let's get it rolling so we could really have a replica of a production environment. Some of the client-side issues need to be seen firsthand. So already I have a domain controller. So I'm just going to power on the domain controller anyway. But what I'm here for is I'll click the home button and then I need to create a new virtual machine. So I'm just going to click that. New virtual machine. So I'm going to click next. And it's the same trick here as well, guys. We don't have to give the ISO now because it does give an error that then we're stuck with. So I will install the operating system later. Do we have to create a new VM too? Yes, for that, we need to create a new VM because we have one Windows Server 2012. So how does it look like in a diagram? And how does it look like for the cloud environment? Man, seriously, click. Serious? It's not right clicking. Okay. Just slowed down my machine. I think I gave it 4 GB and it started that machine. Okay. I think I'm back. Okay, domain controller. I gave it 4 GB. I think I have to reduce it to 2 GB. Okay, so yeah, I have a domain controller here. I think every service is back. There was a brief period of shock. So you have a branch here, Toronto branch. That branch, Toronto branch, and you have here already a domain controller, and that domain controller is running the whole local environment or domain controller. But there are so many, so there are like 390 users here. But obviously those users are coming from client devices. So we have then lots of laptops and desktops which have Windows 10, 11 installed. End users are connecting to those devices. So when the end user logs in, the end user, not the admin, so end user's username password is confirmed by domain controller here. And then end user is supposed to log in from the domain, which is the Microsoft network. And after that, then we can install the applications like Outlook, but those applications and Teams, so users can communicate with each other, right? So that's the real environment. And those applications are actually living here. And there's servers, there's server side, which gives the services. So it's Azure, in this is M365, Microsoft 365, um, Azure, IaaS environment that we have right now. Actually, we'll be using that IaaS later. We're just exploring M365. M365 has Azure Active Directory as a security guard here, up here as well. So, and then under that, there are so many, it's not under that, but separately, there are so many applications like Outlook, Teams, that end users will be using, SharePoint, end users will be using on daily basis, right? They want to access that, and many other applications are there. So those applications, if they need to open Outlook, they have to install Outlook here. In order to install Outlook here, and then Outlook will be connecting through Azure Active Directory to Exchange Server. We have mentioned that here as well. So on server side is Exchange. Exchange is controlling your Outlook, anything in Outlook, any policies. And obviously Teams is being controlled by Teams admin center. So all meetings and conferences, and obviously SharePoint admin center, you can handle whatever files and folders they are sharing there. So all that is connected with their server side as well. So Outlook client side and their server side is this here, the SharePoint Teams and admin center. So we control this, but we have to see whatever policies we change here, how do they affect the users here in the client side. So we need to create another machine here because of this. Now I'm just going to go for home button here, and then so here I gave very less RAM because I have total of 16 GB RAM in this laptop. So 4 GB RAM I've given to this machine, 2 GB RAM I'm gonna give to the next machine here. So I'm gonna click home button and then go for create new virtual machine. Okay, there's a comment from Raphael. So do we need DHCP server to allocate IP to our work session? Oh, yes, that's a very good point as well. So guys, we need the DHCP server as well. What happens, I'll just quickly show in the diagram, when there are thousands of machines here, suppose there are hundreds, this is a big environment, suppose, and well, 390 users, but maybe there are 3090 users. There are long list of laptops here, right? Desktops, laptops, users are using all kinds of stuff, machines. So you have to give them some kind of IP address. Then you give them manually here, like one by one, go to every machine and give 192, 168, 200 this, 192, 168, 200 that. So it will take you days. So then we install a service called DHCP that automatically provides IP addresses to all the virtual machines. Although we have in our training environment with just one machine, and yes, we can actually give just a static IP to this machine, but it's better to install. We're creating a replica of a production environment, or in companies, that's how you will see that. So we have to add a DHCP server here, and we need to make sure that the DHCP automatically provides an IP to this machine. So the first time when we install this machine and the first time it is restarting, final restart, it needs to be given automatically an IP address. So for that, we need to install DHCP. We need to know what is DHCP and how to install it and how does it work. So that's what we're going to do. That's a good reminder from Rafael. Thank you. So what we're going to do is while we install Windows 11 and there's some longer process going on, then we're going to install DHCP here during that time. I'm going to attend to the installation of Windows 11 again. Let's continue with the Windows 10 or 11 installation. So what I need to do is I need to go to Home button. I need to create new virtual and machine. So I'm going to go for typical. I will keep it typical and next. I'm going to give an ISO here because then it gives an error that we want to avoid. So we're going to go ahead and we'll install the operating system later. The third option, we're going to keep it selected. Next. This time we're installing a client-side operating system. So this is going to be Windows 98. Oh, I'm just kidding. Okay. So here it's Windows 10 and later. Okay, there you go. So we can go for the top one, 10. If you see 11 and you're installing 11, it's okay. Otherwise, 10 and later is okay. 10 and later x64. And next. And here, master 5 in 1 60. Okay, it's Windows 10, but I need to put master 5 in 1. And today's date is 23. Crash Windows 10 and later. All right. So I need to then know the source machine this. So it's oh, you know what? Windows 10. I need to see it right here. Windows 10. Okay. So I'm just gonna click next. I'm not gonna change the path here. I'll keep it as same. And 60 GB is more than enough. Although we're gonna install Outlook. We're gonna install the whole MS Office actually. 60 GB is still enough, but it is still thin provision. I'm just gonna give it 100 GB. And it doesn't occupy that space because it is thin provision, right? So whatever application you put, it's gonna only occupy that space. So rest is okay. I'm gonna click next, and I need to make sure customize hardware that 2 GB. Yes, good. Processors, it's okay. It's connected to internet. Yes, it is connected to internet because we need to. It's a trial version, so we need to activate it first. Right? So we need NAT now, but later we're going to connect it to the domain. So then I'll show you that to do there. So right now 2 GB is okay, NAT is okay. So no change on the hardware. I'm going to click close, and I'm going to click finito. All right. ONK. So Windows 10 here, and I'm going to go for power on this virtual machine, but it doesn't have an ISO yet. So then we're going to give it the path of the ISO where we downloaded it. So I'm just going to click power on, and it doesn't go anywhere. Obviously, if you see this option cannot connect, blah, 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 just click no. Okay, so you have to just install it carefully, and then our lab is smooth. Otherwise, it gives problems as and well. Okay, what happened? So it's still thinking whether to show me the screen or not. But let it start, and I'm just going to right click here, and I'm going to give the path of the ISO now, and restart this machine, and so it should boot from the Windows. I'm just going to right click here, and I'm going to click settings. And yeah, it shows here that it could not find the CD-ROM. Obviously, we did not give the path of the ISO. I'm going to go to the SATA here, CD, DVD. I'll click both buttons here, connected, and connect at or on. Then I need to give the path of Windows 10 or 11. So whether it's 10 or 11 doesn't matter. So I'll select that and click browse, and I'll check it out. Check it out. Where did I download that? That is not good. Now what will I do? Oh, there's Windows 10 here. Windows 22, Windows 2016, and Windows 11. Okay, that's the Windows 11. So Windows 11. Double click and press O and K. Now we need to restart it, so it should load Windows 11. Remember that when we restart, we have to click the screen and select any key to continue installing Windows. We did that before as well. Right click or restart guest, right? I have to click the screen. So restart guest. It says, oh, you want to restart? Yes. Restart. Then I have to click the screen to select this option off if it comes. Press any key to continue. I didn't do that. I'm just showing you this happens. Otherwise, if you don't click the screen, so first you have to click the screen by mouse, then you have to click any key on the keyboard. Now I'm going to do that again. This time I'm going to click or restart guest. Alright, so I'm going to click the screen first. The icon is gone. This means the screen is clicked. Now I'm going to press any key on to continue. Yeah, there you go on the keyboard. Now it loads and it's going to install the whole Windows 11. And you have to be just careful. I mean, just follow what I'm doing and your lab should be smooth as well.
Sir, right, shows me a list of different Windows 11 version. You can see enterprise version. It just says Pro, Education, Home version.
Ooh, it doesn't show enterprise? Wow.
Yeah, it's not
Pro.
showing it, enterprise.
Yeah, so we are looking for Pro actually.
Yeah, I downloaded enterprise version.
Yeah, actually I also did download. You saw this option?
Yes. Yeah. So once you
Okay,
go
so you
next,
went ahead already. So just wait for us to wait for me because I'll then explain everything. Here, guys, better to change time and frequency, time and currency, not frequency, seriously. Okay, so time and currency here, but if you didn't do that, you can do it later as well. Don't worry about that. I have a good habit or bad habit of changing it here. English, Canada, English, and yeah. So it just changes the time zone for us. Otherwise, do it later as well. It's okay. Doesn't matter if you missed it here. Next, install now. And then this is a Windows 11 evaluation. So let's see then what is going on. Oh, it's taking 5 ever. You kidding me? PC doesn't meet the minimum system requirements to install the version of Windows. For more information, I think I selected was 10 and later. Okay, so there's a Jamie is sharing that. Well, this is the latest 15 I have, but I think the drivers did not accept the latest. Also, first of all, you can also let me know which VMware workstation are you using, 17 or 16? 17, okay. So guys, Jamin has shown a screen here. Let me share that. If you see this, then go for just the Pro. If you don't see Enterprise, then go for 11 Pro. That's it. Also, guys, I may have to install Windows 10 of because my screen and Windows 10 and 11, it's not a big deal. They're just client operating systems. They might look different, but they are pretty much the same. In fact, it's better to see both types of client operating systems, 10 and 11. So we could then see that how they work. So go for Pro, with 11 Pro, right?
But I have like two Pro. One says Windows 11 Pro and another says Windows 11 Pro for workstation.
For workstation.
Yeah, I don't know why it says two version.
Actually, any one of them would better go for 11 Pro.
Okay.
We don't know which workstation they mean, because they would never mean the arch rival workstation's workstation. So it's better to go for the Pro. Okay, guys, I'm just gonna quickly do the same procedure, but I hope I have Windows 10, and I will do that. So my VMware workstation is software updates is about my workstation. Workstation is 16.2. So I don't know why Windows 11 latest it's not supporting. So I'll just quickly shut it down. In fact, I'm just gonna change the operating system, right? I'll go here, edit, and I'll go for CD DVD. If it's working for you, you're good. Not working for you, like me, then did I ever downloaded Windows 10?
Yes, last second.
Oh, thank you. There's Windows 10. Okay, and we're on. I hope that will work. Press any key to continue. Yes. Okay, goes on. Go on and on and on. Okay, so you know what to do here. Just go for the thingy. Canada, English, Canada, come on. Okay, there we go. Next. Move it. Please working. I don't have a product key. Okay. It's a bit different. And there you go.
Yeah.
It shows the same options to me as well. So for 10 Pro, that's it. Next. 10 Pro. Okay. Then the rest is I accept the license agreement. We're not upgrading from anything. We don't have an older Windows 10 or Windows 7. So we're just going to go for custom install Windows, second option. And then we're not dividing further this 100 GB. So we're just going to stick to 100 GB, no changes on this page, and click next. And then it installs. Anyone having any issue till now for this? Yeah, this should be pretty straightforward installation. So guys, we need to install DHCP as well, right? So just to create our legit, just like environment in production. So in the company, so what we need to do here is I'm gonna explain quickly in the diagram, and then actually I already explained that. So we are installing Windows 10 or 11, and we're going to now install DHCP service here. I'm going to give this DHCP, we're going to tell this DHCP that there's an IP range that we need to distribute IPs from. And so we're going to give it an IP range that it's going to automatically give to any Windows that is over the network and is not having an IPN. The Windows that are not having an IP are programmed to request to search for a DHCP server in the network, then request an IP from the DHCP server. So this Windows and any other Windows is always programmed to do that. When they do a final restart, they look for a DHCP server. They're supposed to do that. That's what they're programmed with. So I'm going to go ahead and need to install DHCP in the main controller. So when they are fully installed, they should be getting an IP from this. So let's install a DHCP server here. DHCP is Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. I'll just put that here as well. Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. So dynamic this thing. You don't like that. Dynamics host configuration protocol, and I'll just quickly install that as well. It just automatically distributes IP addresses. We don't have to then go one by one. So I'm just gonna switch to my server here. I'll log into this. I'll log in. Okay. Wait, so that already. Okay. So finally, it understood my request. All the basic address is Sharepoint 2.3 here. Oh, come on. Okay. So once we log in, we're gonna install DHCP. It's a pretty straightforward tool, but we must go once at least through this to configure our environment. Smoother than our environment is, smoother all the labs will be. Yeah. So here I go add roles and features in the server manager in the domain controller. Go to add roles and features. It's very good that we are going through all this because you're going to face that in the production environment. We are already seeing that there. So I need to click this, but it's still loading. It's still low ending. I'm clicking this add roles and features. Okay, it's still loading here. It's too slow. Oh my gosh. Donut here. So it's loaded. And I'm going to just simply click next. Add roles and features. I clicked and it loaded that. This one, I clicked and it loaded this window. So it's just next from before you begin. And then again next, nothing here as well. Pretty simple. Next here. And even next on the next screen, which is this server pool. Then it goes to the server roles. So we have to select DHCP and it pops up a window. We have to select that too. Add features window. And then, this is the window here, server roles. So this is the DHCP that needs to be selected. I'm just going to select that. As soon as I select that, a window pops up like this. And we have to click without any changes, add features button as well. And then it's just next install. So next, nothing here, next, nothing here, next, nothing here, install. Once it is installed, obviously we need to configure DHCP, we need to tell it what to do. And while this is going on, I'm going to check what's going on the Windows 10 in my case and Windows 11 in your case. So don't be confused, just think out of the box. And you can share screenshots with me as well, wherever you are in Windows 11 and you're not sure what to do there. It's on 55%. And it's also starting installation. I think your installation might be even finished already, but I'm gonna close this extra applications here, and
When did you when you applied first time when you were installing this role Active Directory, you could select the DHCP at the at that time, or you have to select at the different time?
Yeah, so it was if we had planned for Windows 10 deployment and 11, yes, we would have selected at that time as well. But at that time, I didn't have the plan to install that. So that's why I didn't. Otherwise, definitely we install it with DNS, right? Okay, so it's thinking of installation. Like seriously, it is too slow. What else is running here? I can close. It's a lot of this I need. This I need as well. Okay, so oh, serious. 70% here. Choking. 98% of memory. Google Chrome is eating up most. It consumes a lot of memory. So guys, once this is done, either you can click this option, complete DHCP configuration, or suppose you missed it and you click the close button, then there's a yellow triangle here as well. You click that and complete DHCP configuration. We're gonna still do that. I'm just gonna click that. And there's a DHCP administrators and there's a DHCP users. So no change here. Next. And whatever user you're logged in from, it should have the privileges. Yes, it has. No change here. Commit. There's a button called commit. I'm gonna click. And well, that's not it. DHCP is not configured yet, so I'm just gonna go to tools. I'm going to click the DHCP here. And the DHCP window opens. And there's IPv4, IPv6. We're going to configure IPv4. And there, gonna right click here and go for new scope. So new scope, right click on IPv4 and then new scope. In the scope, you tell DHCP what to do. Next. And we can put any name here. So it's, scope 1 or whatever. And then next. All you need to do is tell a range from where to where DHCP can distribute. It is 192.168.200. Whatever, 50, 200. We can just give that range. It has yet to write. Oh, seriously? Okay. Your problem needs to restart. I'm just collecting some information and blue screen of death. SOD. Wow. My hardware would suck to that lowness. I didn't know that. It's a new laptop. 10th generation. 10th generation. That's bad. Anyone on that? I think Jamin, you're there and you're configuring CP.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, we can switch to yours. I can show the whole thing. Thank you.
Okay.
And
You see my screen?
Uh, Thank you. So here you have put the range. What we were doing, we are exactly doing that. We're continuing now. 192.168.250 up to 192.168.200. Okay, which is okay. We'll just have one extra machine, Windows 10. But we have 150 IPs, which is okay. One IP for one machine, right? Okay, next. Nothing to put here. This is just for a delay if you want to delay the giving of IP. So an exception also. Also here lease duration is 8 days, which is okay. Every 8 days it's gonna check the machine if it is up. If it is up, it's gonna renew the IP. If it's not up, it's gonna take back the IP, and whenever the machine is up, it's gonna give a new IP. So this doesn't matter in our environment. Yes, I want to configure these options. So we're gonna keep it selected and click next. If we have a gateway, then we should give it. In our environment, we don't have a gateway, so we can ignore that. Gateway is used to send data outside of your environment to internet and from internet to your environment. It does say that, hey, you have a domain, and we say, yes, we have a domain here, which is this. And it does ask that, hey, do you have a IP of the DNS as well? And what are these IPs? 91.168.1.200. Oh,
That is the
is
server's IP, domain controller.
is this our IP range? So can you go to your network card, Jimin, and show the static IP?
Yes.
Because yeah, then our IP range might be wrong here. As local server, no, it's
Okay.
1.200.
Oh, don't know how it works.
169. What is that? Okay, let's go to the static IP. IP4.
One.
168. And 1.200 is okay. So this is our, you've put it this way, which is also okay. I think I put 200.1. So
Oh,
you put the opposite of that. It's okay. It's okay now. Now don't change that. It's okay because 1.200 is also okay. Now we can go to the DHCP. And yeah, this is the DHCP. And go back to the range that we have given. And back, yeah. So here, 1.50 up to 1. We can say 100.
yes, sir.
1.100. And yeah, this is 100. Now we're good. And through this range, will be distributed. Yeah. Okay. Yes, I want. So we don't have a static. Now we're good. 1.200 is our DNS as well. This is very crucial information. Otherwise, it will not work.
What is
So
this one? The bottom one.
this is the second network card IP. We don't actually need that. You can select it. No. Yeah. Good. Done it already. Okay. Select and remove. And so you did that. And now we're good. We should just have back. So select the second IP and remove.
Okay.
And that's it. So we should just have this IP here. And next, we'll go away from there. This is the WINS server that used to be the older name resolution protocol, NetBIOS to computer name. It's no longer needed in our environment. So we can just click that IP and click remove as well. That's it. Next. And next. And finish. We have our DHCP configured now. And we need to check one more thing here. And that is, you have to right click the machine. You have to check what is the VMnet network. So you have to go way up to the master 2022 that is written there. Yeah, right click there. Go to settings. And here you can see that you have two network adapters. So both are on VMnet 0, which is okay. The only thing that we are supposed to have, make sure that two machines, the Windows 10 or 11 machine and the server machine, are both supposed to be on the same VMnet. Here it is VMnet 0. There also it should be VMnet 0. But there, right now we need NAT because we need to activate it first. So for now we need NAT, but later, in order to let this machine communicate with the other one, we will change the NAT to VMnet 0. Oh, this is VMnet 0? It's okay.
Yes,
It's
yeah.
okay. It is all NAT already. VMnet 0 is okay. So this means both machines are on the same protocol. They will be able to communicate with each other. So it's okay. Yeah. So and so DHCP is installed, guys, and hopefully you followed that step. Let's go for Windows 11 if it is done as well, because it's gonna ask certain questions, and we can leave it to just log in from a local user right now, because I'll have to show you how to join it to domain. It takes a little more time.
Yeah, for my Windows 11, it's prompting for sign in email. Are we going to pick one of the users that's been created to sign in, or what sign in are we going to use for the email sign in?
Okay, so that's where we are actually waiting for this slide to be there as well. Oh, slide, did I say slide? This Jamin's machine to be there. But sign in, if it says somewhere in the bottom left, domain joined machine, so we need to select that. But I just wanted to show that as well to all users.
Okay, can I log out? Probably I share my machine.
Yeah, I think if you're already there, but we haven't really seen how many steps that you have come to, so it's better to see his machine, Jamin's machine, so we could cover everything in the recording as well.
Okay. Okay,
Because
getting there now.
he's gonna ultimately reach where you are right now, so you can wait,
Yeah.
and then we can go together. Thank you. So it's yeah, Canada, and it's it's taking time, I think, because there is server also started, and well, your machine, Jamin, is acting like my machine now.
So, I have like more RAM. I have like 4 GB RAM to Windows 11.
You have total 4 GB RAM in your laptop?
No, but like I just gave to Windows 11 4 GB. I have total 32 GB RAM.
32? Wow, man.
Yes.
Oh,
And I also have Windows 11 on my laptop.
oh,
If you
that's
can see from
taking
there.
too long. I think very soon we may have to request Raphael to share the screen, I guess.
Yes, yeah.
So it's making me hypnotized now, that circle. And I could be in your powers very soon. You can command me whatever you want. I'll go out and send all the e-transfer money, zillions and trillions of dollars. Just kidding. Oh, man. So it's not just my machine. My machine is staring at me. See?
I got that on the first place. That's why it took like more time.
You can actually shut down your server if you want, but I think that's taking too much time. Oh,
And
power and
suspend.
suspend. Yeah, suspend is much faster. We need to create a local account right now. So as soon as it gets suspended, something went wrong. Skip. Bindra is showing. Oh man, the Bindra is in. Woohoo. Okay, there you go. There we go. One answer is in. And okay, so still taking time. So yeah,
Why
things
can't
can go wrong. Checking for updates. Oh, my machine is saying free up space, storage space. That's why it crashed. I'm gonna be
maybe
setting
it
up
another another machine.
Okay,
Maybe
so it's
people
checking for. So Rafael, if you see an option to create a local account, making sure you have the latest.
Have to log out from here, join with the machine.
But Rafael, did you see all those options that we are seeing here in Jamin's machine?
Yes, I've passed that.
Ah, nice. Hey, you have a very fast machine. Good. Too fast, fast and furious. Good. Sit back and relax while the magic happens. Really getting things ready for you. My machine had to crash as well, so really, and network environments are like that, and machines are like that. But my machine is actually on Canada, and thanks for your patience. Ah,
good things coming your way.
and we should sue Microsoft.
Like Windows 11 is more heavy than Windows 10. Rafael thinks
Well, not that.
more
Actually, it's
nice.
pretty fast. It's fast as well. Very good.
Okay, finally it's done.
Whoa. Okay, machine device name. So go for client 01, CLIENT 01. Oh man, it's gonna restart after changing the name. Why? Why did we have to do this? Understand it does not see that or show that. So guys, later, those who have gone through this, if you have put some name that is good, and like obviously you had to put some name, or maybe you skipped it, then it will get a very weird name. So better than put rename the machine and restart. So we're gonna, but right now it's restarting. You just need to reach the desktop and we're done then. Uh, no. Okay. So Monday or Sunday it's gonna start. It's the long weekend here. Is it long weekend there as well? Yeah, obviously.
Yes.
The whole Canada is just weekend, right?
Why don't we just pretend that we have Windows 11? Like by default, we also have a Windows 11 sandbox, right? On our Windows 11 machine. We can just pretend that we are doing that one. Like we can just show us
Yeah, my Windows 10 is actually there, but its interface is different. So, in order to record this, oh man, oh, finally, we are seeing some light of hope, uh, and the light at the end of the tunnel. It was a long tunnel. Serious. Okay, trying to record the whole steps, but the steps are taking too long. Maybe you can stop all the, CP24 and other. I'm just kidding. Okay. Now it says setup. How would you like to set up the device? Setup for personal use? No, it's for setup for work or school. So let's select that. Work or school. Next. And let's set this things up for your work or school. Here, do you see there's a sign? What other options here?
In with security key and sign in options.
Yes, let's click the sign in options.
Domain join instead.
Yeah, so click the domain join machine or domain join instead. And enter your name. Yeah, that's it. Go ahead and enter your name. Because we are trying to create a local account to the machine. So,
But this would join the domain then because we selected domain join instead.
no, what does it say in the blue at the bottom? It's too small.
Even better, use an online account.
No. So if you put the name, yeah, click next. And enter password. So this is your local account that's going to be created.
The question no.
Theory question. Okay, yeah, just put something here. Select any question and just put same answer. So you could remember it later. Okay, so we have just tried to skip not using Outlook or any personal email. We just tried to create. So that's what we can do. We should try to do with Pro and Enterprise versions. It's Microsoft and apps use your location. Oh, no, yeah, okay. That'll keep going. That's a lot of options. As yeah, find device, no. Uh, and send diagnostics required only like that. This one's okay. True winking and typing, no, unless it's a touch screen, but it's still a trading environment. Get tailored experience, no. Product user advertising, no. And I think it should just go ahead now and log in and show the desktop, and then we can finally say we're done. So then next class, we're going to be joining this machine to domain, and we're going to continue with the Azure Active Directory experiences. But, there was a write back assignment that we needed to do. So we will have to skip that. The previous assignments that you can do, you can go for those. As we need to still join it to domain.
Can we join on our own?
We can actually join now as well.
Okay.
Okay, so you want to join the domain? Okay.
Which option you select from the down list?
Down list.
The list shows that we cannot read that
Mhm.
the previous screens.
So I think in the video it might look bigger.
Okay, okay.
Man, hey, we have another class. I mean, I have another class, so
We we can stop here.
yeah. Guys, so we're gonna do the domain joining next week. It does take a lot of time in that as well. I'll just put my environment in the other machine where everything works. This laptop, I'll not be testing anymore. So, okay, guys, this is it. And just read all the labs and write the summary of all the theoretical topics. Also, I have put another question there in YouTube, and please let's see what your concepts are till now. So I'll be putting that link shortly here, and then I will ask everyone to just go ahead and answer those questions, right? That one question. Guys, have a nice long weekend, and see you next Saturday. Bye.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Should I stop?
Okay, I'll just stop and bye bye.
Thank you. Nice weekend.
All right, thank you. Have a nice weekend.
By the way, the AWS class, we have a
Um,
class
yeah,
AWS.
I'll try to start at least. Let's see. Okay.
I have one more question.
Yep.
I found my what do you call the address 1kgfc2.on.microsoft.com. So I try to log in. So don't show me the admin, but how do I get the whole picture, like Exchange and Intune and everything?
So, how does it look like? I have to see that. You can share a screen here, and I can see.
Oh, I'm on the other screen.
Oh, okay. You can share screenshots on the WhatsApp group, and I can tell you what to do. Okay, so yeah, there's a question posted there on YouTube, so I'll go ahead and answer that. Guys, so yeah, Raza, you or sharing screen or later you can work on this.
मैं इस पे कर लूं, इस वाले पे लैपटॉप पे can I install in this one? Like इधर आ जाऊं,
Yes,
इस पे कर लूं?
yes,
Okay.
yes. So you're connecting after that or
मैं connect कर रहा हूँ ना.
so rest of the guys, if you want to go, it's okay. And if you want to see, it's okay. Then,
तो मैं आपको screen share कर दूं.
yeah.
ठीक है.
Mhm.
तो यहाँ पे हूँ मैं, तो मैं जाऊंगा इधर. और
So you can go to portal.office.com and I don't know, pick another
यहाँ
tab
पे
because
लिंक है ना, पे लिंक है ना
Okay,